106.3.
A gunny performance.
Do your job.
And the Tigers regain the lead.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Mixing sports and a little bit of fun.
This is fun!
On your morning drive. This is Robby and Rexrode. With Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. On Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's showtime.
And welcome into the Thursday edition of Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezvik here with you on this Thursday morning. A busy Thursday morning in the Nashville area out there. Joe Rexrode, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Do you have a traffic report for us?
Yeah, it's quite intense out there in certain spots. If you're going by Donaldson Pike, I would be prepared to be delayed for a minute. I don't know what they got going on by the airport, but there's a delay.
Is it possible that, because I have had some airport days, in the last year where it's like, oh, so we just need to double the airport again to handle it? Is it just like one of those things maybe?
Could be. I don't know. I just know that the police have the road blocked off by Donaldson Pike by the airport. And I'm like, huh.
That's
a problem.
That's something beyond that, yeah.
I don't know what's going on over there. But
so there you go, folks.
It caught me off guard. I know that.
Yeah. I mean,
I
Izzo
came strolling in here. Izzo was really mad at me for being late.
Yeah, like Izzo was really excited. He was in San Fran for the Warriors game last night, so he only was here for a couple hours of the pre-show meeting. But yeah, he was kind of upset at you for your lateness.
Really?
You don't want to mess with him.
Really upset. Michelle Knezvik, good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Good to have Rexrode back in the saddle today.
It is.
Good to be back.
5 hours of radio talking. I think I got home yesterday. I was like, no talking.
So
talking.
We're done talking.
So is that 10 in the last 2 days for you?
Yeah. A lot of chatting.
Man, that is a lot of talking.
There's a lot of talking going on out there.
Yeah, out it takes.
Yeah, out of taste.
Yep, just done.
It took me a minute to process that. I was like, wait, what? Yeah.
I mean, look, Jared wouldn't be enough for him. Nah, I got more sports to talk about. Goes home.
Aaron Brewer is 271. 271.
Yeah, just keep the takes coming. Wind up, doll.
Kind of is. We got a lot to get to on the program here today. Coming up at 6:30, we're going to replay a Barry Trotz conversation from yesterday. Some very interesting comments on the Barry Trotz front and some very interesting kind of conversations that I've had in the aftermath of the Barry Trotz conversation from yesterday on the show. So we'll get to that at 6:30, get Joe's thoughts on that at 6:45, and take your thoughts as well. Because some interesting comments specifically on the future of John Hines yesterday. Charles Robinson normally joins us on Thursdays from 8 to 8:30. It's going to be 7 to 7:30 today. Charles doing some traveling, so looking forward to Charles Robinson coming up from 7 to 7:30 today on the program. And as always, we'll take your thoughts, 615-737-1025. So one of the many things that we discussed with Paul Kuharsky yesterday from paulkuharsky.com was the Jacksonville Jaguars and exactly how good they're going to be this year. Obviously, we can talk about the future of the Titans, which we've done a lot this week in terms of Will Levis and what they're building towards, and 2024, if he's the starting quarterback, what all that's going to look like, all these things. But in the meantime, there is a season they got to play. Right now, Ryan Tannehill's on the roster. Derrick Henry's on the roster. They got a pretty good-looking defense on paper, and the question is, can they compete with Jacksonville in the AFC South? And Paul Kuharsky offered his thoughts on the Jags yesterday and exactly how good they're going to be. Here's what PK had to say yesterday on the show.
They've got two stud outside linebacker rushers also, if you like Trevon Walker. Yep. I think they should be pretty good. First place schedule hurts them. They get Buffalo, they get Kansas City, they get San Francisco. Those are three awfully tough games, and the kind of games that Jags haven't had in a while. But they also should beat up on the AFC South if they are what they think they are. I think the number one reason that I and that a lot of us would say the Jags aren't going to be as good as people think, and I think that bar is AFC South champions, not first or second seed in the AFC by any means, is that they're the Jaguars. And Jaguars traditionally fall on their faces even with expectations. So I think they should be pretty good. I think I wrote about expectations, and all four of the books that are on the apps have them winning the division at pretty unfavorable money. And I think there's good cause for that. It starts with the quarterback. I mean, they've got the superior quarterback in the division.
So that was Paul Kuharsky yesterday from paulkuharsky.com on the Jags. So it's interesting because we get a lot of thoughts on the Jags on the text line. It's clear that they're going to be the divisional favorite heading into this year. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed anywhere right now to find somebody that doesn't have Jacksonville as the favorite in the AFC South. But as PK said, I mean, they are the Jags, so we've seen, as a franchise, them kind of go through this before. Now, I do feel like it's a little bit different now with the leadership that they have in place. They do have a number one schedule coming up this year after winning the division a year ago that can be tough if you look at it. I mean, the schedule is interesting, and we'll get a little bit more into the schedule, which comes out today. By the way, it looks like the Chiefs are opening up with the Lions, according to multiple reports. So,
goody!
Restore the roar.
That first Thursday night game of the year, Lions Chiefs, baby.
Oh, that's actually beautiful. Let's give everybody a real eyeful of what a joke they are right away.
It's going to be right off the bat, Lions and Chiefs. But Jacksonville's got the number one schedule, but they also have Trevor Lawrence entering into year 3 in the league, entering into year 2 under Doug Peterson. And if he plays the way he played in the second half of the season last year, that's going to be a problem for a lot of people. And Calvin Ridley joining the team. So as you look at Jacksonville, Joe Rexrode, and you look at kind of stacking the Titans up against the Jags and everything that's involved with it, what do you make of this division, and how big of a favorite is Jacksonville heading into the season in your mind?
I don't think they should be as big a favorite as they are. I mean, I'd make them the favorite. Even something PK said there. I mean, I immediately went to my QB rankings because he's like, they have the superior quarterback.
A lot of people texted in about that yesterday when he said it.
And now, so I'm like, actually, I forgot. Like, did I, in these official rankings, amazing rankings, who did I have ahead? I do have Trevor Lawrence 2 spots ahead of Ryan Tannehill. Okay? But, man, it's close. Just those 2 guys, okay? It's close. Now, there's a lot of other things about Jacksonville that would certainly be better than the Titans, but I don't know, man. I even feel like PK, that's a little bit of disrespect for Tannehill, for what he is. The Titans were a bad play away from winning in Jacksonville in prime time in a packed stadium with Duval just all up in arms.
That pool was flowing.
The pool was over. I mean, it was milky, and Joshua Dobbs was at quarterback, and they were like right on the verge of beating them for to win the division last time they played. So I think it's closer than people think. Now, you mentioned Ridley. I think Ridley is definitely something you have to keep in mind. We forget how good the guy was before all the stuff.
You can bet on him being productive.
Thank you. Well done.
Yes,
you can. Over under on Ridley.
Yes.
Jokes this year, 117.5. So I think they're better. The problem is it's also that if you really want to, I mean, they are better. They are better on paper than the Titans overall. I think they have a better roster overall. And it's just a question of the Titans haven't improved their offense that much on paper. Maybe more, maybe we've given them too much credit on the offensive line even. I don't know. A lot of questions, but I do think the Vrabel factor, the defense, all that, I think you're going to have 2 close games in those teams play. And the first place schedule is nothing to sneeze at here. Yep. I mean, those games are tougher. And so that means the Titans have the second place schedule, and they've been having the first place schedule. So I think it's going to be closer than people think. If the Titans I think if the Titans start well. The problem is next year, I do buy into the idea of, blah start, offense is bad, that at some point they consider going to Levis.
Yeah, I mean, I think that could be certainly a possibility. The quarterback part of this is interesting because, like you said, I mean, when PK said that yesterday they've got clearly the best quarterback in the division, a lot of people texted in and text line. I was like, really? He's like, is it clear that he's the best quarterback in the division? And I would agree that it's close between Trevor Lawrence and Ryan Tannehill. I would give the edge to Lawrence, but I would agree that it's close. The one thing I'll say about that, though, is, look, if you did like a league-wide list of ascending players, I don't know exactly where Trevor Lawrence would fall on that list, but my guess is he's probably near the top based on the way that he finished last season. I mean, he's an ascending player in this league. So I don't think it's too much of a jump to say that there could be an even further jump from him this year heading into year 3 and year 2 into Doug Peterson. Whereas with Tannehill, like, I just kind of feel like it is what it is, and the circumstances around him right now make it difficult for me to imagine that's going to get a whole lot better.
Yeah, they're terrible. I mean, that's the thing. But just one for one as a player, and I agree. I mean, even last year, it's not like that run they went on was all just like Trevor Lawrence having huge game after huge game.
Right.
You know, it was. I mean, he was bad when they're as they fall behind. What was it, 27-0 in the Chargers?
Yeah,
Then,
he threw 4 picks in that game.
Right. Then he made some plays.
And then he threw 4 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I agree though. I mean, he's in a. Stop me when you disagree with me. Mahomes, Burrow, Rodgers, Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson.
That may be where I stop you.
Okay. Dak Prescott. Russell Wilson. Matthew Stafford. So that's
now we're getting into
right. We're getting into the mids, but
Yeah.
then I go Trevor Lawrence, Tua, and Tannehill, then Cousins.
okay. I
So-
might put Cousins ahead of Tannehill.
Okay, that's fine. Would you put Tua ahead of Tannehill?
Yeah.
Okay. And you definitely put Trevor Lawrence ahead of Tannehill.
Yeah.
Okay, so you hate Tannehill too. All right. Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way on this first segment.
The Watson one's really interesting.
Well,
because
it is.
I've
I don't
seen
know.
him do it before, and I know how good he once was. I don't know how good he now is.
I agree. No, I mean that's the hardest one. It's like right now I have him right after Herbert and ahead of Dak Prescott, but that's where the gap is. It's like there's Herbert, and then it's like you could put Stafford, you could put Trevor Lawrence, but I mean then you get into all the mids. That's what it is. It's all the mid, and I put Watson at the top of the mids right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. He might be bad
He
now.
could be terrible. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's really interesting. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. We're off and running on Robby and Rexrode. How big a favorite should Jacksonville be in the AFC South? How close is the gap between the Jags and the Titans? Take your thoughts. 615-737-1025. More on that next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 1025-1063, The Game.
Nashville Sounds Baseball lives on 94.9 The Fan. Catch every pitch,
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
every hit,
That's a base hit.
every run
Looking up, it's gone.
on your home for Sounds Baseball. 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
Imagine her delight when she unwraps a luxurious spa day from A Moment's Peace, the newly remodeled day spa and salon in Cool Springs. Time is running short, but whether you spend a little or go lavish, you can take comfort that your gift will be treasured, your love on display and a smile on her face. Give affordable luxury from A Moment's Peace for mums, dads, and grads in Cool Springs across I-65 from Galleria Mall at the intersection of Carruthers Parkway and Bakersbridge Avenue. Call 224-0770 or click online anytime at momentspeace.com.
Gear up for spring at Coleman Tractor Company with Kubota zero turns and subcompact tractors in stock now and ready to work. Mow, dig, haul, and lift with the Kubota BX23S tractor loader backhoe. Now through June 30th, save up to $2,500 on BX23S models. Visit Coleman Tractor in Paris, Clarksville, Nashville, and White House today. Now through June 30th. See KubotaUSA.com for more information.
You don't have just an ordinary mom in your life. She's the best. Her work never stops. Her sacrifices are many. Her love is unfailing. This Mother's Day, Genesis Diamonds invites you to join us in celebrating and appreciating the mothers in our lives. Stop in and let one of our trusted advisors help you find a special, meaningful gift. Layering necklaces, stackable rings, eternity bands, pearls, elegant diamond pendants, and of course, stunning diamond earrings. Great Mother's Day ideas for any budget. There's no doubt we love Mom, but sometimes a little extra appreciation goes a long way as a thank you for helping us through challenges, making sacrifices, and always putting the family first. So whether it's her first Mother's Day or her 60th, Mom deserves a gift that's anything but ordinary. And at Genesis, that's our specialty. Exquisite rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, heirloom pieces. Timeless gifts of jewelry that she can enjoy and cherish for decades to come, and always be reminded of how special she is to the family. Genesis Diamonds. Online at genesisdiamonds.net.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text HUNK to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text HUNK to 321321. That's HUNK to 321321.
Want to see our smiling faces? You can watch us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live. We are good to go. Presented by Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode.
It's part of this nutritious breakfast.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Call TJ's team today to see why they're referred to so often. We are streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by Superbook. We're live from our 102.5 The Game studio, brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Taking your thoughts on the Titans. Throwing the question out there, how good are the Jags going to be this year, and what does the gap look like between the Titans and the Jags in your mind? 615-737-1025. Gunner on the text line says, if the Titans didn't have a complete breakdown after firing J-Rob, this wouldn't even be a conversation. Tannehill would be above Lawrence. Got a lot of people saying that you can't count on Calvin Ridley being productive either because he hadn't played in a couple of years.
Yeah, that one I gotta push back on. I think that's a little bit of fantasy there. And I went back to Zach and I asked him, like, how many examples are there of players in their prime missing a full season that isn't for injury? I mean, if you miss a full season for injury, it's obviously a huge injury, right?
Right.
So then you come back the next year, and a lot of times that it's like the year after is where you get all the way back. But we were trying to think during the break of NFL players who missed a full season. Now, Michael Vick would be an example, with the criminal charges with the dog fighting and all that stuff. I think he missed 2 seasons, but and that's also a quarterback. Right. I just look, as long as Ridley wasn't on my diet in the year away, I think he's going to come out and be just fine. The guy can play. He's in his prime. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be good this year. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-pro, but it's not injury related, so I think that's just different than what you're talking about.
Well, the only example that I guess is close would be Antonio Brown in 2019 played 1 game for New England, and then he was done after that, and he came back in 2020, and then that's when he went on the run with Tampa and won the Super Bowl. But Antonio Brown in 2019 played in 1 game, and that was it. And then he came back the next year.
And that's also, by the way, a little past his prime.
Right.
But
like he was 31 when he played the 1 game, came back at age 32.
And comes back and is, killing people.
Right.
And that's Antonio Brown. He's, him at his best, better than Ridley at his best. But there's that's a good argument against it. I mean, if you can play, you can play.
Well, and Ridley's also 28.
Right.
Coming into this year.
Ridley's good. I mean,
the concern with Ridley is the same that it was prior to all the gambling stuff, and it's can he stay healthy? Like, really, the last year in Atlanta, he missed, I guess, what did he play? 5 games. So like the health of Ridley, even when he was playing in some of those games, it was always, well, he's got something nagging him, and he's questionable heading into this week. That's going to continue to be the question with him is, can he stay healthy? But when he's on the field, the dude's been pretty productive.
Okay, Zach comes back with examples. Deshaun Watson, well, that is true. And
there is that.
There is the Deshaun Watson issue. I mean, Deshaun Watson, though, more than a year. More than a season of football.
Almost 2.
That he missed, right. And he's also his own case. Le'Veon Bell, yeah, run. Hey, bet on himself. Got paid. I think he's a good example of like
what an all-timer that one is.
Yeah, if you got a good thing going, don't overinflate what you are to that good thing. Plaxico Burress, so I mean that's a reference to the shooting himself in the club thing.
I think so.
That was definitely past his prime. Definitely past his prime. And then Dante Stallworth, and in these situations, I mean, that was a criminal and tragic situation. I think that was also later in his career, if I'm not mistaken. I'll check on that. And at least Zach provided some examples.
Yeah, he said Josh Gordon too, which I'm like,
well,
which time?
Yeah, right. I mean, he's missing this chunk of games, that chunk of games. Look,
hey, those are good examples, Zach.
No, those are examples, different situations. I think and although Ridley's situation is him in trouble, I also feel like it's, and I get it, okay? Although it's just the hypocrisy of the NFL is just so like in flashing lights when you think about this stuff.
It is.
Yeah, like it's different than some of those situations, And I think like a situation like Watson, I question whether just everything that's gone on, whether like he can even have the same like confidence and everything, because the Ridley thing, I think he can shrug it off and just play. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it certainly, I don't think, should be exciting to Titans fans that Calvin Ridley is down there with the Jags right now. Now, does that mean that they're automatically going 13-4 next year? No, it does not mean that. But I do like Doug Peterson and what he did in year one down there in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, I think it's pretty clear. Like, Trevor Lawrence's rookie year was pretty much a gigantic waste of time with Urban Meyer in the helm. And, they went through all that, and Doug Peterson came in the second half of last year. He looked really good. PK brought up an interesting point of, like, the edge rushers that they have now. Arden Key's now here with the Titans, and he was a part of what they did last year on that side of it. But Trayvon Walker, the 1 overall pick down there in Jacksonville, like, it's going to be really interesting to see what that defense looks like this year too, because that to me is still an area where that team could take another step. And everybody talks about Lawrence and Calvin Ridley and the weapons they have offensively, and Evan Ingram's down there too, and we saw what he did against the Titans last year. But defensively, can Trayvon Walker kind of take that next step in his second year and become an absolute force out there? That would not be good news for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, they do have a new offensive line.
They do.
So they have a better chance, in theory, of blocking.
Well, let's get your thoughts on that, because we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Like, Mike Herndon put it out there on Twitter a couple of days ago, and the thread essentially was like, are we really sure that the Titans' offensive line is better? Just given the fact that Ben Jones is no longer there. Obviously Lawan's not there, but Lawan pretty much wasn't there last year either. But you've got a guy in Dillard that didn't play last year all that much in Philadelphia. Brunskill couldn't start in San Francisco. You got Petit Frere that was needs to get better at right tackle. Aaron Brewer, who is taking over for Ben Jones at center, and then presumably a rookie coming in at left guard. Like, are we sure that the Titans' offensive line is better or significantly better?
Better, I would feel good about. Better. Now, how much, I don't know. But it's all fair points. You got two guys who haven't been able to start. The spin on that is, and it may be reality, but the spin on it is just they were behind just really good players on loaded rosters for contenders, and this is an example of being able to find low-cost talent that just needs its opportunity, and it's going to show that it's starting quality. Petit Frere, I think he was fine as a rookie. Had some bad moments, some good moments. Yeah, he's got to take a step. Brewer, how much of a downgrade is he from Ben Jones at center? He's a downgrade. I was thinking, Ben Jones banged up a lot in the last few years, so it's not like Ben Jones' incredible effort to get out there and rally on a Sunday with those knees and play. But, like, what level of player is that? Leader, all that highest level. Tough guy, highest level. Player, I don't think that it has to be some huge drop off. And yeah, everybody's just like, well, Skoronski better be great. You better just go right to the Pro Bowl, rookie. Good luck to you. So, I mean, look, you take Dennis Daly off your offensive line, you're better right now. Okay, it's just, and I don't think Brewer. All jokes aside, he's just his size. He should only be considered a starter at center in this league and not anything else. So, yeah, I do think it'll be better. If you figure all those outcomes, like Nate Davis, I think Nate Davis he just last couple of years, wasn't the same guy. Could Brunskill be as good or better than him? It's possible.
Right.
Basically, I think they're not all going to work out best case scenario. They're not all going to work out worst case scenario, right? So if 3 of the 5 things can work out in their favor, that to me, I think actually would be in the range of significantly better because it was so bad last year. So bad.
Let me ask you this. Which offensive lineman do you feel the most confident in? And is it Peter Skoronski heading into his rookie year after being drafted at number 11 overall?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I have no clue on Dillard and Brunskill.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably I'd tell you what, I think Aaron Brewer is going to be fine. So as far as confident in not being a disaster, because I've seen him play, and I think he's going to be fine. I mean, he has actually played a lot of good football for them, despite what some people say. But yeah, I guess I go with the rookie. I go with the rookie.
Peter, welcome to the team, buddy.
Hey,
you're the best offensive lineman. Anywhere number 77.
Yeah, Conklin came in all pro right away, rookie. Just do that again.
No big deal.
That's all you got to do.
615-737-1025. Our phone number, 615-737-1025. Coming up next, you'll hear a conversation that we had with Predators general manager-to-be, Barry Trotz. Lots of interesting, different things in this conversation, including his thoughts on the status of John Hines, as the Predators are now just about a month away, a month removed from the end of the season from last year. Very interesting comments on that front. We'll hear that. We'll get Joe's thoughts on that coming up as well. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
Friday night.
Propelled to the top of the left circle. Shots, he scores!
The Milwaukee Admirals open up the second round in the AHL playoffs against the Texas Stars. Follow the future Preds here. Coverage begins at 7 on your home for Smashville. 102.5 and 106.3, The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
Daniel Tosh is back. Sweet Tea Tour.
It is great to be here in America. The greatest country in the world.
September 21st, Ryman Auditorium. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. Online at Ryman.com. Don't miss your chance to see Daniel Tosh. Sponsored by PNC Bank and AXS. Proud partners of Ryman Auditorium.
Nashville is now home to an award-winning full-service spa, Mocara, located in the beautiful Omni Nashville Hotel. Features a wide range of signature services, including massage therapy, body and facial treatments, and yoga. This Mother's Day, treat your mother to a relaxing day at Mocara Spa. She deserves it. Purchasing your Mocara Mother's Day gift cards is easy. Go to omnihotels.com/Nashville or simply stop into the spa located on the 4th floor of the Omni Nashville Hotel, 250 5th Avenue South. For more information, simply call 615-761-3600.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics wants to thank their patients for voting them the #1 orthopedic practice in the Nashville Scene Poll for 3 years in a row. Their physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, and other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they adhere to all CDC guidelines for the patient's and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and see a list of all physicians, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
Hey, Ray Jeter here with Harness. Are you looking to take ownership in a position that will support your growth and development? We are an excavation and site utilities contractor. Several things set us apart from our competition, but we take the most pride in the professional development of our people. We have multiple openings for operators, pipe layers, and laborers. Our pay and benefits are second to none, including our 401k program. Apply today at selectharness.com. Harness LLC. Build people, move dirt.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
They're homegrown in Nashville, discussing the biggest topics in the SEC.
The fans are going to want the rivalries to stick around. They've lost to Alabama every year.
The NFL.
What if all the top 3 quarterbacks went 1, 2, 3? You've got to draft your guy at 2.
And anything in between.
From thinking we know everything to then forgetting about everything we thought we knew the day before.
They're Jonathan Hutton and Chad Withrow on Outkick's Hot Mic.
Out of the gates, ready to go.
Weekdays from 2 to 5 on 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
Hey, Nashville, this is Dan Lebitard. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezovic here with you on this Thursday morning. We caught up with Nashville Predators general manager-to-be Barry Trotz yesterday, and he had some very interesting comments, and including some interesting comments on the status of head coach John Hines. Here was that conversation yesterday with Preds general manager-to-be Barry Trotz. And welcome in, Barry Trotz. Barry, good morning. How you doing?
Morning, Barry.
Good morning. Good morning.
Appreciate you taking time to be with us this morning. So, Barry, we were just talking about the draft. The lottery takes place the other night. You guys land at number 15 overall, and you have another first-round pick with wherever Edmonton finishes. So what's the process been like for you all preparing for the draft and everything that goes along with that to this point?
Well, it's been a really good process. Actually, we just started with reevaluating our own draft, where our prospects are, where they are in terms of their development, and look at some of the holes that we may see in the future, maybe in the next 3 or 4 years in terms of holes that we may be able to address during this draft. So we started with that process, and then the scouts have been really diligent at putting together a master list of the and order of the this coming draft. So no matter what, I think we're going to get a really good player.
Barry, we're going to have Luke Evangelista coming up a little bit later in the show, and obviously a really exciting series last week for Milwaukee as they take down Manitoba and move on to take on the Texas Stars. What's just kind of been your interest level in terms of the young guys that finished the season with you all that have now gone back down there with Milwaukee, and how important do you think a long run in the AHL playoffs could be for them as they continue to try to kind of form together as that next core for your group?
I think it's going to be really important. I talked about in my own press conference when I'm looking for serial winners in our organization. It starts in the minor league. It starts in junior. It starts with that. I've learned over my time as a coach that you get players, especially young players who've gone on those long runs, win the Calder Cup in the American Hockey League. A lot of those players are able to take the next step at the National Hockey League level, and then hopefully that core continues to roll on, and they hopefully eventually win a Stanley Cup. But it is a huge development tool, if you will, those long runs in the Hockey League, because you're under a lot of pressure, just like you are in the National Hockey League. The players grow. Those little plays, those little moments are so crucial for them to understand so they can have success at the next level.
Barry Trotz with us here on Robby and Rexrode. So, Barry, you talked about the status of John Hines at the end of the season press conference, and he's under contract, but some evaluation still needs to take place. Where are you at in terms of the evaluation of John Hines, and is there any news on what his status looks like for next year?
No, I exactly what I said at the press conference. I'm going to evaluate. I think John did a terrific job, as I said when I came on. We sort of moved 4 players at the trade deadline. He lost 8 players to injury, and he continued to forge on with the group. And what I like about what John did is he just coached the group that he had. And I know John and his staff are good coaches. I sat in their meetings. I listened to them. I understand what they're doing. So with John, I just said, from my perspective, everybody is going to be evaluated. And also I'm going to evaluate other organizations too. So if I can improve in any aspect of our organization, be it coaching or development, I'm going to try to do that. But I can tell you the staff is a really good staff. They know what they're doing, and I have a lot of trust in them.
Barry Trotz joins us right now. Barry, when you look at a guy like Cody Glass, who had to take on a bigger role this year, especially after the trade deadline and different players getting injured, what is something you're looking to see from him in this offseason to hopefully, be a guy who can play a top center position for you someday?
Well, I think with Cody, if you know his history, he's had a number of setbacks as a young player. He had a major knee injury during COVID, and was sort of, here you are, an 18, 19-year-old man. You're in a different country during COVID. You can't go see your family. The ability to get the training that you needed, especially with the injury that he did have, was very minimal. So I think he's a little bit behind in terms of his natural growth curve, but he's catching up very quickly. And what you see with him last year, number one, he started getting his confidence back. Number two, he started to believe in himself and started playing against, I'll say, more regular top line guys out of necessity, and he fared well. He's over at the World Championships representing Canada, and they had an exhibition game last night, and he got a hat trick. So all those little moments, I can go back to a game in Calgary when we were, he was in a shootout. He was the last guy in the shootout, if you will, season on the line, and he came through. So all those little moments for him are building his confidence, and as he builds his body as a young man, turning into a mature young man, I think you're going to see some real good things from Cody.
Barry Trotz is with us right now. Barry, obviously this is your, first time being in that manager kind of standpoint as you begin your transition into general manager. But of course, you've coached in this league for so many years. How is this time of the year, May, we're gearing up for the NHL draft that's actually going to be in our backyard here in Nashville. How is this time of year just different from you? You've been a coach in May, kind of the off season, getting ready for the draft, but how is it different from, transitioning into that manager standpoint?
Well, I think as a coach, you just manage the players, and you're married to the schedule, and so you have a certain rhythm. I think as a general manager, you're married to the situation. The situation right now is I'm sitting in the meetings with our scouts all day, listening to the different players that they may be looking to draft. As a coach, you don't really do that. You usually come in on the back end when they've already got their lists made. You sort of know what your group is going to take in terms of players, because they have them grouped. They have an idea of 6, 7 players are going to be in that area where they draft. So you sort of come in on the back end. I'm coming in on the front end, watching the whole process, listening to the whole process. So it's just a little different, but at the same time, it's very informative. And I don't think I have enough hours in a day to cover everything some days.
Barry Trotz is with us here on Robby and Rexrode. Barry, the playoffs have been really entertaining to this point, and as you know, as a coach, the game is evolving all the time. When you watch the playoffs now, and you look at some of the teams that are having success, and trying to visualize what that looks like for your group as you build your team moving forward, how do you think the game has evolved over the course of the past couple of years, and what's most important in your mind now to have success once playoff time rolls around?
Well, I think, the game has gone to obviously a lot more speed and skill. It's a lot younger, and so you see the goals going up. That is twofold, I think. Number one is the players are so skilled now, they can make some tremendous plays, and more players are scoring threats. Two, I think, the players are younger, and because they have such great skill, they trust their skill, but they don't understand sometimes the risk reward yet, as maybe a more mature player would. And so there's a few more turnovers, a few more, you're not being patient and just, grinding through the next minute, waiting for your opportunity. I think teams are trying to force things. I watch teams now. There's a lot of blowouts, and I just think what's happening is, from a standpoint, is when a team gets behind, they even get more risky, and all of a sudden it just blows up in their face real quick, because you see goals come, 3 goals really quickly, because teams try to get it back. If they're down 2 goals, they're trying to get those 2 goals back in the next 2 minutes, rather than, hey, let's just get one, in the next 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, then we'll get the next one and sort of inch your way, pull yourself back in. They go from being in a game to out of the game very quickly. So that's just patience. That might be some maturity. That's puck decision. So that's the price sometimes you pay with young players that are highly skilled.
So that was Predators general manager Barry Trotz on with us yesterday here on the show. He said a lot there, but one thing in particular about the status of John Hines I thought was very, very interesting, and we'll get to that coming in next. Get Joe Rexrode's thoughts on that as well. Take yours at 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Will Barry Trotz and the Predators be moving on from John Hines as head coach? We'll get into that coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
We are your home for every big pass.
Chase Elliott will pick up the stage 1 win.
Big wreck.
Joey Logano gets turned. He's hard into the inside wall.
And big win.
Kyle Busch has won here at the Talladega Superspeedway.
Catch every lap of NASCAR on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Jared from my friends at Hiller. Hiller's Heat Wave Heroes are keeping you from getting burned this summer. If you know your home needs an air conditioning replacement, do not wait until it breaks down. You do not want to be sweating in your home. This month, get a free UV light and free electronic air cleaner when you buy select new HVAC systems. Or get a whole home water filtration for just $59 a month. Or get a new whole home generator for just $139 a month. Call Hiller's Heat Wave Heroes to save the day. Visit happyhiller.com to book.
At the law office of Amanda J. Gentry, we are committed to defending your rights. We have a team committed to helping you navigate the court system, whether you've been accused of a crime or you're going through a messy divorce and custody. Call our team to help you navigate this system. We are here to protect your rights, to demand your rights, to enforce your rights. 615-604-6263. 615-604-6263. AmandaJGentry.com.
This is Evan Bass for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. For most of us, sex is a big part of our relationship. So when something like erectile dysfunction starts affecting intimacy, it can be a real problem. But what you may not know is that ED doesn't just affect you, it can be tough on your partner as well. Plus, if you have ED, you know how it can make you feel. The truth is, we see a lot of guys who have depression, frustration, and even relationship issues because of ED. But we don't want ED to impact you or the one you love anymore. The Tennessee Men's Clinic tackles ED. Our urologists and medical providers take a comprehensive approach and have treated thousands of men with treatments that are successful in nearly 90% of cases. Even if your hormones are off, or if pills, wave therapy, or other treatments have left you hanging, the Tennessee Men's Clinic will work hard to help you get your sex life back, perhaps performing like you haven't in a long time. So call us. Your first appointment includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. We have 2 offices in Midtown and Franklin.
Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
More than 80 million Americans depend on AM radio for their news, traffic, weather, sports, and a community connection. It's the backbone of the emergency alert system, keeping us safe in dangerous times. It's critical that we keep AM radio in cars, Because when cell and internet services are down, this free emergency service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress we need AM radio in cars. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Leroy 71's back up. What's your 20? Over.
Olivia needs more drivers for her trucking company to go the extra mile.
3 more stops to make.
She wants to hitch a team to drive business forward.
Lots of double nickels on the 169. You know what I'm over? This driver shortage.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game has an all-star lineup Monday through Friday. Batting first at 6 a.m., it's Robby and Rexrode.
Yeah, you take that. You take that. Take 80% of that.
Followed by Chase and Michelle at 9.
Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
I need my caffeine so much.
Then it's Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace at 11.
Yep, green light, let's go.
You've got a lot of options.
He say, she say. And bringing it home at 2, Jared Stillman for Stillman & Company.
That guy will be a good coach.
We are Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Thoughts with us here on Robby and Rexrode. So Barry, you talked about the status of John Hines at the end of the season press conference, and now he's under contract, but some evaluation still needs to take place. Where are you at in terms of the evaluation of John Hines, and is there any news on what his status looks like for next year?
No, I exactly what I said at the press conference. I'm going to evaluate. I think John did a terrific job, as I said when I came on. We sort of moved 4 players at the trade deadline. He lost 8 players to injury, and he continued to forge on with the group. And what I like about what John did is he just coached the group that he had. And I know John and his staff are good coaches. I sat in their meetings. I listened to them. I understand what they're doing. So with John, I just said, from my perspective, everybody is going to be evaluated. And also I'm going to evaluate other organizations too. So if I can improve in any aspect of our organization, be it coaching or development, I'm going to try to do that. But I can tell you the staff is a really good staff. They know what they're doing, and I have a lot of trust in them.
So that was Barry Trotz yesterday on the show discussing the status of John Hines. And, Joe, there's several different interesting things about that answer. Number one, it's May the 11th as of this morning, and the Predators have been, not playing hockey for almost a month at this point. We're just about a month away removed from the end-of-season press conference that Barry Trotz, David Poile, John Hines all took part in, which I think was like April 17th, somewhere in that neighborhood, 16th or 17th. So it's May the 11th. We're just about a month away removed from that. And the answer from Barry Trotz yesterday was basically the same in terms of he's still evaluating John Hines and would not say that John Hines will be back as head coach next year. There are really kind of several different interesting parts about that answer, but we talked about it a little bit yesterday on the show. I want to get your thoughts on it. What did you make of what Trotz had to say about the status of John Hines there?
Yeah, it's interesting. Even the need for the question is interesting because, like you said, you've had all this time. What would be evaluated right now? What would be – now, I suppose the answer back would be like, well, there's a lot of data to go through. I don't know. Film to watch. You can go back and watch him on the bench from back in November.
Let's think. They're not playing right now. So what are we?
Right.
I get that there's an evaluation process when you factor in the whole that has to take place after the season. And as Trotz has talked about multiple times, it basically kind of felt like 2 different seasons from this team. But the evaluation part of it to me is kind of over at this point. It's interesting to me that it's a month later and he's still not willing to say John Hines is coming back next year as head coach.
Right. Hate to jump to conclusions and be, that guy who's like, oh, so he's just waiting for, his replacement or something like that. But I got to say, Like if you're John Hines and this is the only information you have, unless you're John Hines and you have information, well, look, you're fine. We're gonna announce something that went at the appropriate time. How would you take this? Like if you're just kind of in the dark on this, how could you feel good right now about your job?
Well, it's also like if you really want him, right? Like you want John Hines and you feel like he did a great job and you want him to be your coach. Like at this point, wouldn't you kind of say that if you're in the Predators?
Yeah, and even I try to hesitate on taking words because someone's on the spot. Barry Trotz is on the spot. Good question by you. He's just trying to answer the question. He's on a flip phone somewhere in traffic. Like there's a lot of factors you have to take into account here. Okay, but even the fact that he said, he threw in there, if there's any chance for me to improve the coaching staff, the fact that he went there, in my mind, I was like, it's an interesting thing to throw in there. Maybe I'm overanalyzing.
Well, he said a couple things toward the end of that I thought were interesting. Number one, what you said in terms of, if there's any way that I can improve the organization, whether that's upgrading a coach or players or whatever it is, I'm going to try to do it. And he also said towards the end of the spiel there that he's evaluating other organizations as well, is what he said. And, I mean, like you said, it's a comment that he made on a radio show. They've not made some move yet. But, like, just kind of reading into that, it's like, well, I mean, if you're waiting for somebody else that's maybe playing right now and or –
by the way – One of those possible guys kept it alive last night.
It's just interesting to me that he put those two comments in there. Like I was talking with some people yesterday that I trust that were like, at some point, like the spin that you have to put on it if you're bringing him back gets pretty interesting for the Predators because we're a month removed from the season, and like if you wanted him, why wouldn't you just come out there and say, yeah, he's back. He's got a year left on his contract. We want him. And, Caroline William D-Mays have Elliot Friedman on every week, and he's talked about before, general managers around the league, by and large, really don't like having coaches come into a year with just a year left on their deal. They like it to either be extended or them to just go ahead and move on from it a year early. I don't know what Trotz's opinion on that is. He's a first-time general manager, so I have no idea. But it's just when you factor in all of the information, I've always been since the press conference with Poyle, Trotz, and Hines, and we talked about it that day. Oh, all three of them were doing the press conference together. If you'd have told me that day, I'd have said it's 95, 99% that John Hines is back. And I don't know right now. There's enough information, or I guess not enough information out there in terms of John Hines coming back. That makes me wonder, if it was as simple as, hey, we think John Hines did a really good job. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Let's see what he can do next year. Why would you just have not said that at this point if you're the Predators?
I'm 49-51 after that interview. Hines back. I don't remember what the number was before, but seriously.
Yeah?
I'm 49-51. Now, it's very close 50-50 because, but even if he is back, this is a very – just lukewarm endorsement of him for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because I don't. Now look, I'll say that, and then in 3 days, a press release: John Hines 4-year extension.
Right.
You idiots! What were you guys talking about? But man, it really feels, and again, it's typical. It's normal for a new GM to come in and have his coach.
Right.
It's just a question of. If it ends up being Spencer Carberry, the target all along, man, props to Vingan, first of all, too. Ty says, quote, if my guy becomes available or wants a job, Hines is gone. If not, Hines is back, end quote. I mean, it could be that simple. Look, and if you're John Hines, you may think that, too. You may wonder that, too. You don't like it. But you know what? He has said it himself. It's hard to get a head coach job in this league. It's hard to stay in this league. So if I'm John Hines and I get one more shot at it, another season with this team, or whatever, you could look at next year too and say, well, if it's bad by Thanksgiving, then that might be it. But hey, if you're John Hines, you get any more opportunity to do this job, you will take it, because there's recycling of coaches. Like Gerard Gallant is going to be recycled again, because of course he will be.
Peter Laviolette, I'm sure at some point probably
will
be hired again.
There's coaches who achieve a certain amount and then they get recycled around the league, but Hines isn't that yet. You know, he hasn't achieved anything. I still think he hasn't had teams that he should have, like he hasn't had like a cup contender that he ran into the ground, but he hasn't had that opportunity. So he's not necessarily going to be recycled when he gets fired in this league.
Right.
So to him, it's like whatever you can take at this point, you get. And yes, April in Portland, we're aware that you want John Hines fired. Thank you.
Got a text her.
At least she's consistent.
She says it would be
consistent.
She says it would be glorious, Joe. Well done, April.
I got a text that says, I think Barry Trotz is just waiting until he's officially the guy to make big decisions like that. I do not buy into that.
I don't know about that one. Yeah.
Barry Trotz.
He's the guy.
Let's not make any mistake about it. Barry Trotz is making decisions right now. Like it's, David Poile is still the general manager, and officially Barry Trotz takes over on July 1st. But Barry Trotz is making decisions right now. I mean, they're preparing for the draft. I'm not saying that Poile's not still part of it, because he is. But if Barry Trotz wanted to move on from John Hines, they're not telling him, well, Barry, you got to wait until July 1st to do that. I mean, that would just be dumb to do that.
Yeah, sorry, it's not your job. Now, Barry,
it's not your turn yet.
You can't go in that office yet. You go. No, Barry. Now you can do it. Yeah, he's in charge.
Right. So the question is, is it as simple as whoever he's got in mind is still either in the NHL playoffs, in the Calder Cup playoffs, as some people threw out there yesterday with Carl Taylor still coaching out there? Could be. I mean, I don't know. It's very – I thought there was a chance yesterday when I asked that question that he would say, yeah, we've done the evaluation.
Yeah, you thought you were breaking news.
Yeah. Like, we've done the evaluation, and John Hines is going to be back next year.
Right.
And when he didn't say that again, I'm like, man, I don't know if John Hines is going to be back next year. Maybe we're reading too much into it, but – to me, like if you like him and you want him to be back next year, we're a month removed from the season. Why have you not just said that yet?
I mean, going back from when Paul Scorbina stood up and asked the question, at that point I'm like 98, 99% Hines is back next year. I'm at 49 now.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a dramatic change in the way I think a lot of people feel about that. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. Coming up next, we will be joined by Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports. Normally joins us on Thursday mornings at 8 o'clock. He's traveling today, so a little bit of a shift in the schedule. Charles from 7 to 7:30. Looking forward to all that coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every day we are live and local.
Blown out in one game against a team that's just flat out better than you.
And your source for Nashville sports.
How many needs are you going to create for yourself this offseason?
We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
You don't have just an ordinary mom in your life. She's the best. Her work never stops. Her sacrifices are many. Her love is unfailing. This Mother's Day, Genesis Diamonds invites you to join us in celebrating and appreciating the mothers in our lives. Stop in and let one of our trusted advisors help you find a special, meaningful gift. Layering necklaces, stackable rings, eternity bands, pearls, elegant diamond pendants, and of course, stunning diamond earrings. Great Mother's Day ideas for any budget. There's no doubt we love Mom, but sometimes a little extra appreciation goes a long way as a thank you for helping us through challenges, making sacrifices, and always putting the family first. So whether it's her first Mother's Day or her 60th, Mom deserves a gift that's anything but ordinary. And at Genesis, that's our specialty. Exquisite rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, heirloom pieces. Timeless gifts of jewelry that she can enjoy and cherish for decades to come, and always be reminded of how special she is to the family. Genesis Diamonds, online at genesisdiamonds.net.
Buffalo Bill's Center of the West in Cody, Wyoming welcomes you as you enter Yellowstone Park's east entrance. 5 museums in one, including a wonderful Plains Indian Museum. Welcome to the West. Buffalo Bill's Center of the West, Cody, Wyoming.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Valvoline Advanced can help your engine get more miles. Right now, buy a 5-quart jug and get a free STP Extended Life Oil Filter. That's right, free. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need, when you need them, at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same. But at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high-commission investment products, right?
No. Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
I'm Michelle Knezovic. In the fourth quarter on Wednesday night, Anthony Davis was hit in the head by Warriors big man Kevin Looney. He left the game immediately, and according to TNT's Chris Haynes, he was escorted away in a wheelchair. The Warriors went on to win the game to stay alive in this series. The Warriors defeated the Lakers 121-106. The Lakers still lead 3-2 in the series. Jalen Brunson with 38 points to help the Knicks keep their season alive. They defeated the Heat 112-103. Yesterday on Robby and Rexrode, Barry Trotz joined Robbie Stanley and myself and discussed John Hines' future.
Everybody is going to be evaluated, and also I'm going to evaluate other organizations too. So if I can improve in any aspect of our organization, be it coaching or development, I'm going to try to do that. But I can tell you the staff is a really good staff. They know what they're doing, and I have a lot of trust in them.
The Maple Leafs survived being swept by the Florida Panthers 2-1 last night. Florida still leads the series 3-1. And the Oilers had a bounce-back win against the Golden Knights. That series is tied up at 2. I'm Michelle Knezovic for 102.5-106.3 The Game.
For more, follow us on Twitter at 1025 The Game or visit thegamenashville.com. Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
Robby and Rexrode. Chase and Michelle.
Caroline, Willie, D-Mace.
Stone and Company.
Nashville's best sports talk.
Crank it up.
1025 and 1063.
Cranks it, he scores.
On both sides of the one big possession.
Touchdown, Middle Tennessee.
The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
Mixing sports and a little bit of fun.
This is fun!
On your morning drive. This is Robby and Rexrode. With Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. On Nashville's best sports talk. 1025 and 1063 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 1025, 1063 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezovic here with you on this Thursday morning. And as we do every Thursday morning, we are joined by Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports, normally from 8 to 8:30, but now Charles is becoming officially a part of the morning crew and getting his day rolling early. Charles, good morning. How are you?
Yes, let's not make this a regular thing.
We'll see what we can do. We'll try not to do that. Charles Robinson brought to you by the NFL Alumni Association. So, Charles, we've talked a lot about the Titans in the quarterback position. We know that Will Levis is coming in, and we'll see when Will Levis exactly gets on the field. But right now, at the moment, Ryan Tannehill is the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. How important do you think this year is for him, for his future in the NFL, be that with the Titans or be that elsewhere in just trying to prove that he's still a starting quarterback somewhere in this league? Because we were looking around the league, and if the Titans, for whatever reason, decided to move on from Tannehill like right now or cut him, like is there anywhere that he would go at the moment where he would actually be a starter based on the quarterback situations around the league? What do you make of kind of the predicament that Ryan Tannehill finds himself in right now?
Yeah, I don't know that there's an easy spot for him suddenly to become a starter. I mean, I don't know what you guys came up with, but you obviously look at places where you have teams that are leaning on maybe younger guys that seem a little bit unproven. Sam Howell maybe in Washington, but I think one of the things that makes this really important for Ryan Tannehill having success at this stage of his career is that when you look out there and you look around, you just have a lot of teams that are rolling the dice this year on young players. There's not this massive push out, Atlanta, Desmond Ridder. It's like, okay, are they really going all in on Ridder this season? They are. And I think Washington's the same situation with Howell, and even Tampa, feels like they're really pushing everything into the direction of Baker Mayfield for now. But I think one thing that Ryan Tannehill can look afield and say, well, why do I have to have a huge 2023? Because chances are a number of these guys aren't going to work out. And there definitely could be an opportunity in other places, unless they're looking at a total reboot, which some of these franchises might be if some of these young quarterbacks don't work out. So he's not in a great spot. I think part of what went on before the draft with the Titans kind of poking around to see if there was a potential landing spot for him if they were to move on from him. I don't know how successful that really was for them. I didn't get any indication from a few of the teams that I talked to that there was interest in picking him up, even if the Titans had landed, a quarterback at that third spot and then were ready to move on from Brian Tannehill. I don't know that a number of teams really would have been lining up for him, let alone, what the salary is right now. That's another thing, too. He would have had to have significantly changed, I think, what his salary would have been if he would have played elsewhere.
You mentioned Washington. I mean, they're tanking for Caleb Williams, right? I mean, Washington's tanking. They wouldn't want a guy who's actually competent at quarterback because they want Caleb Williams next year, right? Look, I'll put it to you this way. I mean, I'm not a big believer in Sam Howell, given where he was drafted. I mean, it's, modest success down the stretch. I don't know how much you watched him at the end of last season, the opportunities that he had. But, it doesn't feel like that's a team. I will say that what some of these teams we look at, let's say it's Atlanta, let's say it's Washington, what if Justin Fields completely goes in the wrong direction for the Chicago Bears? Tampa, that doesn't work out with their quarterback situation. Any of those teams, I think, even Green Bay. I think if Jordan Love, it completely falls apart. The Minnesota Vikings, it feels like this is going to be the last year of Kirk Cousins there, and so there's going to be potential for them to pivot as well. Yeah, any of those teams that look like you'd think, hey, there's a chance that they're in the quarterback market in 2024. If they're not having a lot of success in 2023, I don't want to say they're going to tank, but I think they know the value of having the number one pick or maybe even the number 2 pick next year with Drake May coming out of North Carolina. Yeah, I mean, at some point, because this is not like other leagues where there's like actual tank. I mean, the Blackhawks just stopped like shooting the puck at the net this year, and somehow they get rewarded with Connor Bedard. But like in this league, you don't see it to that extent. But I do feel like we're going to see it. Like Tampa Bay. I know that they have Baker, but they seem like a great candidate to, just gut it and get the QB, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of age there. I mean, when you look at their roster, it feels very set up for a reboot. And it also feels like a situation where if they kind of see where things are going early on next season, I would expect them to be players at the trade deadline, trying to unload probably as many players as they possibly could. I would agree with you that there's going to definitely be some scenarios out there, and we can't really tell right now. Every season's different. I can't even say. You look at the Los Angeles Rams. That's another team where listening to Aaron Donald say things like, hey, a lot of young guys are really going to have to, contribute this year. And all I know is I look at that roster, I'm like, I just see a ton of spots where people are going to have to play way over their head. Matt Stafford's going to have to be, we're going to have to be looking at the guy who played the majority of the, them winning the Super Bowl and the tail end of, being in Detroit. I don't know if he's that guy anymore, but that's another franchise where if you said to me, hey, the Rams are going to stack up and be a 3-14 team, would I be like, no way? No, I wouldn't. Not looking at the realities of what they need a number of people to do and how they need to play and some of the injuries they're recovering from. So it's going to be a really interesting season. And, the 2024 draft is so loaded that it's not like just the quarterbacks are going to be, attractive up there either. Marvin Harrison Jr., Brock Bowers, there's a couple tackles. I mean, it's an absolutely going to be a different experience in the 2023 draft, particularly if you're a team that ends up picking in the top 10, 15 range. There's going to be a lot of premium players next year.
Charles Robinson with us here on Robby and Rexrode. And Charles, we've talked to you a lot over the last couple of years about Deshaun Watson and all the stuff off the field and the contract and all those things. What about on the field? Like, we were talking about this earlier. I know that he missed basically 2 years, but he got in 6 games last year, and he didn't look very good. Like, what do we think he is right now on the field, given everything that's gone on and transpired with him away from the field?
Well, it's a really important year, not only for him, but Kevin Stefanski. I think, Andrew Berry is someone that it's an important year for him as well. But you look at this offseason, and first off, they have a really, really good team. Like, when you look at their 2-deep depth chart, they're pretty loaded. I mean, there's a ton of talent there. Some of it, you're like, okay, certain players, like Elijah Moore has a ton of talent. He was in a really bad situation with the Jets. He has a chance to be a very, very good player for them. Their wide receiving core alone, when you look at the other pieces that they've added, Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, Peoples-Jones, Marquise Goodwin, David Bell. I mean, David Njoku, he's going to have a lot to work with in terms of throwing the football. Nick Chubb being healthy, the offensive line being healthy. There's not going to be a lot of excuses there for Deshaun Watson. And we can look at last season and say, okay, well, there's a few different adjustments. There's an adjustment off the field. There's adjustment on the field, shaking off the rust. But they bring in Josh Dobbs for him as a backup to help him prepare. They've done everything to support him at this stage. So it really needs to start to be the tail end of that Houston experience, seeing a player who looks a lot like a all-pro, Pro Bowl level type player. And if that does not happen, fingers are going to get pointed because everybody knows he's not going anywhere. It's like Russell Wilson last year in Denver. He wasn't going anywhere. The next most expendable person becomes who's designing the offense and calling the plays. That's Kevin Stefanski. And if it really, really, really goes terribly, I don't put it past ownership to go, well, you know what, we're going to point the finger at the general manager. We're going to point the finger at the chief strategist, Paul DePodesta. We're going to point the finger everywhere but us. And, it's not a season where Cleveland can struggle like they did last year. Some people will lose their jobs. There's zero question about that.
We'll have more with Charles Robinson with Yahoo Sports coming up next. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
The postseason is here. Whether it's the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs or the NBA, we have you covered on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3, The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Mid-State Sports summer registration is going on now. Adults can register as an individual or bring their whole team for softball, sand volleyball, soccer, flag football, kickball, and basketball. For more info, visit midstatesports.com. It's no debate. Play Mid-State.
She would do anything for you. She's your biggest fan. She's your mom. And mom turned upside down spells wow. So give her a day full of wows this Mother's Day, starting with an incredible gift from the Diamond Cellar. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. From classic diamond jewelry to luxury pieces from our world-class designers, we have the perfect gifts for every mom, stepmom, or grandmother. Show her how much you care with something she really wants, but would never buy herself. Visit us at the Diamond Cellar in Green Hills. The possibilities are endless.
Along with being Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer, Parman Tractor is your one-stop shop for professionals in the tree care and tree removal business. More bark brush chippers and Rayco stump grinders are industry-leading machines made for more to keep pace with you. And Parman's parts and service team will keep your machines running. Durability, efficiency, and trust. That's what you'll get with Moorbark and Rayco. And with Parman. Swing by Parman or visit ParmanTractor.com to learn more about Moorbark and Rayco. Parman Tractor's employee-owned team promises totally outrageous customer service.
Hi, this is Jamie from Souls for Souls. I hope you can join us on June 7th at Hermitage Golf Course for the second annual Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament. We've partnered with 102.5 The Game to provide shoes to students experiencing homelessness right here in Nashville. Go to thegamenashville.com for more information and to register.
Next up, Straight Talk from Doug.
Ever notice that saying no offense is offensive? Like, no offense, but you're overpaying for your wireless. See? Offensive.
That's the Straight Talk talking. Get unlimited plans as low as $35 a month from Straight Talk on America's most reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart and Walmart.com. On the $35 plan, first 10 gigabytes data at high speed, then 2G speeds. Refer to the latest terms at straighttalk.com. Based on most first-place rankings, root metrics, second half 2022 assessments of 125 metros. Experiences vary, not an endorsement.
Anyone want to tell me what happened? Did you miss any of today's show?
It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry.
Subscribe to the Robby and Rexrode podcast on Apple, Spotify, and other podcast platforms, or by going to theGameNashville.com.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Good morning. You're locked into Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty.
I had the radio on. I'm listening to
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We've got more with Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports, brought to you by the NFL Alumni Association.
All right, Charles. I know we've asked you, a lot before we even knew that Will Levis was going to be a Nashville sports legend. Ask you at times about Levis and the draft process, but I've been working on a story on him, so this is why this comes to mind for me. Is that, at this point, I got to say, I feel like the interview stuff, which, again, I know we asked you kind of earlier in the process about this whole he's tanking interviews. Man, I got to think at this point that's a lot of BS, intentional smoke to try to drop him. But then again, he didn't go to the second round. In retrospect on Levis, who obviously is of high interest here, how do you view all of that stuff? What have you gathered on that? And, I guess, what do you think about, where he is moving forward here?
I mean, if it was meant to drop him, someone would take him. Everybody, he got passed by everybody, and there were opportunities at the end of the first round to, for teams to move up and take him. So, I think there's something there from the standpoint of, there's a reason why the draft, slide occurred. I don't think it was just this idea of, the left toe and his last year at Kentucky, after, losing the offensive coordinator and then some of the talent around him, either having a drain or injuries or, a multitude, his age, a few different things. You talk to enough teams that I don't think it's impossible to see where they're coming from when you also match it up against some of the public comments you've seen Will Levis make, things about when he talked to, look, I don't want to kill him just based on a couple of clips that obviously a lot of people have seen. The whole, do you want to attend the draft, and him saying, if I'm paraphrasing here, but the whole idea, if I know I'm going to get picked, I don't, but you don't want to be one of those guys that, slides and then has a camera on you the whole day. And, I think not being there the second day, deciding, hey, I'm not going to be around, I'm not going to stick around for this the second day, I'm out. Some teams are going to point to that and go, look, that's the entitlement we talked about. There's this element of, is he cocky or is he arrogant? Is he being realistic about the experience, or does he feel entitled to something that, he has yet to fully earn on the NFL level? Look, they picked at him for a lot of different reasons. And I would say that everybody is going to have their own different assessment of meetings that they didn't like, or they're going to put more weight into something that maybe other teams won't. But the fact is he slid. He did. And he slid despite the fact that he's got, significant tools. He's got a great arm. He definitely had the 2021 season for him was beyond remarkable. And, it was a guy that some teams were saying, obviously, before this last season, he's a potential number one overall pick in this draft. So I would say it's, I don't know. We've talked about the pre-draft process. I've criticized the fact that some things get looked into stupidly. But I will say this about quarterbacks. It's probably more real with quarterbacks in terms of attitude, how they present themselves, whether you feel like they can lead a group of grown men, versus a lot of other positions where players are not thrust into a leadership spot. And by the way, he's not alone here. I heard the same stuff about Kyler, about being, when he came into the draft, teams would say he's a baseball guy. And you'd be like, what does that mean? And they'd be like, well, baseball guys are just different. The clubhouse is different than the locker room. You can be a little aloof. You can be a little selfish. You can be a little, your vantage is constantly pointed inward. And that can play poorly once you get onto the NFL level. And I think since he's gotten into the NFL, those things have not stopped dogging him. People still think he's a little bit of a selfish guy and rubs his teammates the wrong way. And I think that's part of how teams assess Levis, that, is he going to be someone who can step into a locker room and not be inwardly focused? He can be outwardly focused. And we'll see. Some guys, it's much ado about nothing. Other guys turn out to be like Jay Cutler. You can be monumentally talented, but everywhere you go, people are just kind of, they think you're a little bit of a jerk. And we'll see what Levis ultimately turns into.
Charles, what do you make of the Washington and Chase Young situation? He has 7.5 sacks. He's drafted number 2 overall his rookie year, and in the 2 years since then, he's played in 12 games and he's had a sack and a half to his name. And now Washington's not picked up his 5th-year option. What do you make of where that stands and what the future could look like for Chase Young?
Well, he could be Daniel Jones. It could be a situation where he doesn't have his 5th-year option picked up, and a year from now, you have Washington sitting there going, well, geez, we wish we would have picked that up in retrospect. Maybe we didn't take into enough account that there were injuries over the last 2 years. I don't think it was just injuries in production. I think they paid, Jonathan Allen, they paid Daron Payne. I think Montez Sweat is playing out his last year there, and they know we're not, I don't think conceivably they're going to be able to give contracts to all 4 players on their defensive line. And so they feel like they're going to have to make a decision here between either Sweat and Chase Young. The rookie season, there's no doubt. I think he flashed everything you would want, but there's just not a lot of substance the last 2 years. And he did play some games too. And I just think they sat there and they looked at the 5th-year option and thought that's a lot of money to commit to a player for the 5th year. And at this point, we could just let he and Sweat sort it out during the 2023 season. And if we can't get a long-term deal done with either, we just franchise tag the best one. And, we'll move forward. And then the one we lose, hopefully we'll sign a big deal and maybe we can get some, draft compensation down the line, a compensatory pick or whatever. But there are a few guys in the this 5th-year class that from that 2020 draft that didn't have their option picked up that I think could have an opportunity to make a heck of a lot of money if they can really put it together in this season. A lot like like I said, Daniel Jones did last year. Josh Jacobs was a guy who didn't have his 5th year picked up. There have been players that have reaped rewards on the other side. I think Young's the very, very top of that list. I've already had a team in the AFC who remarked, I was talking to a GM, and he was like, I would love for that guy to become available because we absolutely would love to pair him with a very stout defensive player they already have on their line. So there's an aspect of redemption and money there for him if he can put it together in 2023.
So it's NFL schedule release night, which is just to become a national holiday. All due respect to your league, Charles, give me the freaking email. Let me see the freaking schedules. I'm going to watch hockey and basketball playoffs. But it has, credit to the league, man. They've done. I am excited, Charles. I see Chiefs are going to just annihilate the Lions on opening night to expose them right away. That's exciting. But one thing, you texted me before the show here, I did not realize it. The Chiefs are going to Germany twice? What's up with that?
Back-to-back years. Yeah. That's
okay, back-to-back years. I got you. Okay. I thought you meant twice this year. I'm like, dude, they're trying to tank the Chiefs.
No. In back-to-back years, but I do think it's significant. I think it's interesting because I think it shows, financially, those international games, especially now that it's broadened a little bit, and there's no doubt in my mind that the NFL has completely geared them to how can we make out financially in terms of continuing to carve out a space for TV deals. Everybody's like, oh, it's about building your fan base over there. Yeah, I mean, really, it's about building your base enough to the point where you can sign lucrative deals. I don't think realistically there's any idea of having a, European division or whatever. But, from broadcasting rights aspect, advertising aspect, all those different revenue streams, that's what this is about. And look, putting the Chiefs, what's interesting is they put them in international games in back-to-back years, but they put them in Germany. They didn't put them in London, which I think it's very interesting because you do have some people when you talk to, different individuals across the league about the business side of the NFL who feel like the NFL is going to be very, very heavily leaning into the German market the next 10 years, that they feel like as much growth that there has been in London, they feel like it's a little toppy right now. It's sort of topped out, and the explosion that's still there to be had is basically dominating Germany and sending the best, most marketable stars to Germany. I guess you could say London kind of already owns the Jaguars, which now that Lawrence is turning a corner is a really great thing for them. But I think they're going to be very focused. Mahomes is the centerpiece of the league. They're going to want to get Mahomes into Germany as many times as possible in the next 10 years because they feel like, that's where they can make a ton of inroads financially in that market. And I mean, as we saw in the game last year, it was pretty remarkable what we watched happen. The whole, John Denver Country Road moment was probably one of the craziest, things I've ever seen in the middle of an international game. But yeah, it says something that they're saying we're going to take Patrick Mahomes and we're sending him to Germany for 2 straight years rather than London.
Charles Robinson, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode, joins us every Thursday morning here on the show, normally from 8 to 8:30, 7 to 7:30 today. Charles, we appreciate you taking time to be with us this morning, and we'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Sounds good, guys. Have a good week.
Absolutely. Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports, our guest on Robby and Rexrode. Lots to react to there from Charles. We'll take your thoughts on our phone and text lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. Make sure you join 1025 The Game for the 2nd annual Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament presented by Gary Force Acura, benefiting Souls for Souls, coming up on June the 7th at Hermitage Golf Course. You can put your team together and come play with athletes, musicians, and other local celebs to support a great cause, plus have loads of fun, and you'll have the chance to win awesome prizes. You can sign up to play, sponsor, or donate at thegamenashville.com/golf. This is Robby and Rexrode, 1025, 1063 The Game.
The offseason is in full swing, but there's no slowing down ESPN's Teron Davenport.
The flow of information.
He talks the talk.
Spears gives you that guy that can still hit the home run.
And walks the walk.
As a run blocker, he's going to murder a linebacker at the 2nd level.
On everything Titans, TD is on Mondays at 1, Thursdays at 3, Friday mornings at 8, and anytime on the Talkin' with TD podcast. TD is on 1025 and 1063 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
What's up, everybody? Michelle Knezvik here for Superbook Sports. Baseball is back, and the push for the postseason is on for hockey and hoops. Boston Celtics and the 76ers tonight. I think the 76ers are going to close this one out tonight in Philly. Boston is a 2.5-point favorite. Give me Philly plus the 2.5 and plus 115 on the money line. I also think that Denver is going to close this one out over the Suns. Ayton looks like he's questionable for the game, so give me the Nuggets plus the 3 and plus 135. I think those series will both close out tonight, so make it all count this spring with Superbook Sports. Superbook is the best wagering app around, with a direct line to experienced bookmakers behind the counter in Las Vegas. Plus, you can get a $250 bonus when you sign up, deposit, and wager all in the same day. And make sure to use the promo code The Game, THEGAME, The Game. Don't let spring pass you by without winning some money with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Hey, Ray Jeter here with Harness. Are you looking to take ownership in a position that will support your growth and development? We are an excavation and site utilities contractor. Several things set us apart from our competition, but we take the most pride in the professional development of our people. We have multiple openings for operators, pipe layers, and laborers. Our pay and benefits are second to none, including our 401k program. Apply today at selectharness.com. Harness LLC. Build people, move dirt.
If you've been thinking about remodeling your home's kitchen or bath, contact the countertop experts at Smoky Mountain Tops. Willie Donick here, and we installed Smoky Mountain Top surfacing in our kitchen years ago. It's remained durable and super easy to clean up. Smoky Mountain Tops is proud to offer the new prestigious Vidara quartz for your kitchen or bath countertops. Vidara surfaces are ideal for use in almost any interior application. Check out the stunning new Vidara quartz shown at Smoky Mountain Top Studio. Contact the pros at Smoky Mountain Tops. Quality, service, and dedication. Visit SmokyMountainTops.com.
Honey, what's an 8-letter word for difficult to explain?
When we planned on retiring, we never planned on Medicare being so confusing.
What's a 6-letter word for special skills or knowledge?
Fortunately, Farm Bureau Health Plans is an expert on all things Medicare. With 75 years of helping Tennesseans, they helped us understand our Medicare options.
Why are these things so complicated?
Talk to your local representative or visit fbhp.com. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
Nashville is now home to an award-winning full-service spa, Mocara, located in the beautiful Omni Nashville Hotel. Features a wide range of signature services, including massage therapy, body and facial treatments, and yoga. This Mother's Day, treat your mother to a relaxing day at Mocara Spa. She deserves it. Purchasing your Mocara Mother's Day gift cards is easy. Go to omnihotels.com/Nashville or simply stop into the spa located on the 4th floor of the Omni Nashville Hotel, 250 5th Avenue South. For more information, simply call 615-761-3600.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called Testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text HUNK to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text HUNK to 321321. That's HUNK to 321321. He's got big takes.
It's not that freaking hard. Hand the ball to Henry.
Small takes.
You have to defend your decision.
But all takes.
They win, they lose. Just invested a lot into this game. It was the worst press conference.
He is Jared Stillman.
I guess I'm just not a very good coach, Jared.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck on Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty, helping home buyers and sellers in Middle Tennessee for 20 years. We are streaming live, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by Superbook, live from our 102.5 The Game studio, brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Thanks to Charles Robinson for Yahoo Sports for being with us for the past 30 minutes. Always very entertaining, very informative stuff from Charles, so we appreciate that. It was interesting to get his perspective on Tannehill. I mean, this is a gigantic year for him. We know that, whether it's with the Titans or elsewhere, in the future of what his playing career looks like. But it is interesting, like between the teams that already have their answer at quarterback, or maybe the teams that are looking for the next answer at quarterback in the draft next year, trying to identify like where he could go and actually continue to be a starting quarterback in this league is really interesting. Now, things can change in a hurry, and the equation at quarterback could look way different by next offseason than it does right now. But it's a big year for Tannehill to play well, number one. But number two, like trying to forecast beyond this season and look at where he might be a viable option to be a starting quarterback is pretty difficult.
Yeah. Look, Michelle has brought up what was that sound?
I don't know.
Is that my computer?
Sorry, that was me.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking
Well,
of
you said my name, so I just was ready.
It's the Michelle sound.
I like it.
You've brought up Atlanta, and it's one of those like, if you did it and you were Arthur Smith, then you are kind of saying, yeah, let's just punt on Ritter, and it's so early to know or to do that. But I mean, that would be one. I don't think Washington. I think Washington is trying to get Caleb Williams, and I
think so too.
Yeah, without saying it out loud, like to them, like that franchise doesn't need a Tannehill and a 9-8 season. They need something for people to get excited about. Look, around the league, I think the NFL people underrate Tannehill, and so he's not going to get you excited. He's not going to move the needle. He's a better quarterback than people realize, I think, largely, but he's not good enough to go in there and make them a contender. So they need like all of a sudden, Chicago quote unquote hockey fans are like, oh, maybe we'll watch the team again in a couple years. All right. It's kind of like that idea. So it's hard to find great candidates right now. Now, like to Charles's point, so Tannehill, needs to have a good season, of course. And if he does, I mean, you look around. Like, I don't know what Belichick thinks of Tannehill.
Yeah.
But, like, there's a team where, maybe, maybe that could open up for him. The Raiders. I know it's like, it would be like, Jimmy G, Tannehill, very similar. But, I mean, there's another team that, like, there's a few out there who, depending on how things go, he could find a slot as a starter. You feel like he's almost in the point we're headed toward where he would just be a bridge starter somewhere.
Yeah.
But what if he's really good this year? Then again, if he's really good this year, the Titans, I mean, I think they're moving on. We've already had this discussion. It'd have to be like
real good,
astoundingly good for the team and everything. But, I mean, I don't know. The Vikings.
I'll throw one out there.
To Charles's point, the Vikings, they same kind of quarterback. But
if Tua can't stay healthy.
Yeah. Go back to the
the return home.
Bring it all back around.
But I mean, seriously, like if he has another concussion or, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising just because he's been so injury prone his entire career.
Well, then
call Brady.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But that's a team that, like, if that were to happen, like earlier in the season, there's a team also that could get into the Caleb Drake
that's the thing.
situation, right?
But there's going to be a team or teams next year that want to go get one of these quarterbacks in the draft and won't do it. Like, they're not going to be able to do it. Like, I think there are going to be enough teams that want a Caleb Williams, a Drake May, name another couple of quarterbacks that could pop up and be first-round picks next year. Like, I think there'll be enough teams that want those guys. Yeah, maybe. We'll see what happens on Joe Milton.
You brought him up, not me.
He could be the number one overall pick. We'll see. But not all those teams are going to get those guys, I think. So, could Tannehill end up in one of those spots? Like, he's so intriguing to me this year from just a variety of different angles. There's that standpoint of, like, what does his future look like in the league? But it's also, he's coming off the injury. He's about to be 35 years old. He knows that the Titans have just drafted his replacement of who they're looking to build around moving forward. The offensive line has been totally revamped. He's got no receivers to throw the ball to, at least none of which that are proven at this point. We'll see what Burks and Phillips and all those guys can do. But, like, his approach to this and how he responds to it is going to be really interesting this year, and to see how he handles all that.
It is. I expect him to handle it like a pro. He's been in this league long enough. He's already been discarded once. So, and he came in here, and he befriended Mariota, and he was a good teammate, and he put his head down, and when he got his opportunity, he played great. But I think that when you've been through all that he's been through, some of it self-inflicted because, look, I think this situation has a lot to do with that playoff game, that last playoff game, but he's handled everything like such a pro. I think he's going to handle it great. Now, will he play great? Will they be good? I can't say that at all. The offense still looks really questionable, but I agree with you. It's a really interesting story, and he is a really fascinating case study this year. I did want to get into something Charles said, which bothered me a little bit.
Okay.
And again, this does have to do with I've been spending a lot of time reporting on a Levis download of word salad that's, I think, going to hit the internet tomorrow morning. But, first of all, like Liam said this on the text line, He said, quote, "Man, I hate the idea Levis owed it to anyone to go sit in front of those cameras on day 2. I mean, he told us. Like, they had a huge party. They had people coming from all over the country, including, like, people who played for his late grandfather at Yale. Like he had to go home that day. The idea that would be some reason for people to be mad at him is so dumb. And, yeah, it's interesting with the interview thing.
That's why I would never go to the draft to begin with. Like, if it's a high price, I'd take the Skoronsky route. I'm going to the pizza place. You can find me there. That's where I'll be.
I agree. I mean, look, I think that, he had a lot of people and family. I mean, both of his grandmothers went, too. It wasn't just the people they had, like, a huge – so, I mean, I think a lot of them probably wanted to go. Why is it a criticism of him that he said what he said in that video? Well, I don't understand that. So for people who don't know, Charles referred to that. I don't even know who the interview, but he's walking in the field.
I think it was at Pro Day or something like that. And he basically just said, I don't want to be that guy that the cameras are on you and then you don't get picked and it's just awkward.
Like everybody dunked on him for that and laughed. You are that guy. But why? What's wrong with saying that is what I'm saying.
Isn't everybody I don't know. That?
Like it's, who would want to be that? It's like, you know what? Aaron Rodgers looked like he was having a lot of fun on draft day. Let's do that. That sounded great.
Right. I mean, he obviously ended up being wrong because he did drop. So he was that guy. But I don't understand how is that entitlement? The word entitlement here, we can talk more about this tomorrow too. But if you look at where he came from as a player, including 2 years ago, he's like, I can't beat out Peter Clifford. I guess I'll go to Kentucky.
John Clifford.
Who's Peter Clifford? I don't know. Oh, you know what? Peter Clifford is a lineman I covered long ago. My goodness. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, he couldn't beat him out.
Yeah, I couldn't beat out Peter Clifford either. Maybe I'm mixing Peter Skronsky and Sean Clifford. Couldn't beat him out 2 years ago, and he goes from just a total afterthought, a guy who got a degree in 3 years with a 4.0 finance degree, then gets his master's, and gets himself to the point of being, I know he's a second-round pick, but all this I don't know if he's going to work out or not. And I have no idea what happened in those interviews, but entitlement and stuff like that.
It's a little much.
I really think people are missing the mark. And as far as leading, we'll see. The NFL is different than college. I do know that he went to Kentucky, and in a week, they were like, this guy needs to be our captain.
Right.
I know.
He hit an
Just saying.
Hit an absolute moonball the other night at Topgolf, too. Titans put out a video.
Oh, yeah?
It was a rocket.
Okay.
Guy can drive it 330 yards. I don't know if that means anything at all, but what an athlete.
Interesting.
Destroyed the golf ball on the video the Titans put out there.
So entitled, hitting the golf ball hard.
615.
You can come up with any reason
How
to call someone
dare he?
May have gone over the net. I mean, he destroyed it. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. Anytime I can weave golf in there, it's like Joe and Michelle with college basketball.
Yeah.
I'll just do
True.
it.
It's Robby season on the Lynx.
Just gets out there and start driving the ball all over the course. Coming up next, it's time for the Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode. You can check it out every morning at 7:45. We will do that next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
Every Wednesday at 8:30. Join Robby and Rexrode for The Choice is Yours.
2 sports questions, 2 non-sports questions.
They'll answer a couple of questions about life and sports. The Choice is Yours is built by Jarrett Companies. You have a choice. So when you have a need for site and utility work, fire protection, concrete and asphalt services, the choice is simple. It's Jarrett Companies. For more, visit JarrettCompaniesInc.com. The Choice is Yours. Wednesdays at 8:30 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The Choice is Yours, Wednesdays at 8:45. Brought to you by Jarrett Companies. Now hiring experienced sprinkler experts. Go to JarrettFire.com. JARRETT Fire.com. Jarrett Companies, a company above and beyond industry standards.
You don't have just an ordinary mom in your life. She's the best. Her work never stops. Her sacrifices are many. Her love is unfailing. This Mother's Day, Genesis Diamonds invites you to join us in celebrating and appreciating the mothers in our lives. Stop in and let one of our trusted advisors help you find a special, meaningful gift. Layering necklaces, stackable rings, eternity bands, pearls, elegant diamond pendants, and of course, stunning diamond earrings. Great Mother's Day ideas for any budget. There's no doubt we love Mom, but sometimes a little extra appreciation goes a long way as a thank you for helping us through challenges, making sacrifices, and always putting the family first. So whether it's her first Mother's Day or her 60th, Mom deserves a gift that's anything but ordinary. And at Genesis, that's our specialty. Exquisite rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, heirloom pieces. Timeless gifts of jewelry that she can enjoy and cherish for decades to come. And always be reminded of how special she is to the family. Genesis Diamonds. Online at genesisdiamonds.net.
Carrie, is this schedule the most updated?
There's a wedding season rush at Dr. Iona's dental practice.
You're fully booked this week. We can try and squeeze you in next Tuesday.
She needs a dental hygienist to unveil fresh smiles.
How long has 3 been under the UV light?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Anyone who has ever needed self-storage knows what a hassle it can be. You have to rent or borrow a truck and then find someone to help you move your stuff. And let's face it, moving furniture and heavy items without damaging them isn't easy. Renting the unit is worse. The hidden fees and admin costs are scarier than the dingy facilities you're leaving your stuff in. Why not use Closet Box instead? Closet Box is self-storage without leaving home. They'll pick up your belongings, store them securely, and bring any item back when you need it. The best part? Unlike traditional self-storage, you only pay for what you store. No paying for unused storage space. Closet Box's background check storage movers are licensed, bonded, and insured and will take care of all of the heavy lifting. Closet Box's local storage centers are temperature controlled and monitored 24/7. Closet Box has an A+ rating from the BBB. Call 877-233-5696 now for the season's best rates. Get $50 off first month storage using code Radio50. That's 877-233-5696. 877-233-5696.
Tonight on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
The Stanley Cup playoffs continue between the New Jersey Devils and the Hurricanes. Can Carolina close it out? Probably. They will take on Jersey tonight. Coverage begins at 6.
Your home for the Stanley Cup playoffs is 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're locked into Robby and Rexrode.
Every morning, first thing.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. The time is now for the Rex Rant.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
On Robby and Rexrode, here on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Rolling down the street in a Hyundai Tucson. Wonder why you married a two? Laid back with your mind on your hubby and your hubby on your nerves. Rolling down the street in a Nissan Sentra. How come you always have to pick up the food?
And it is that time of the day. Time for the Rex Rant here on Robby and Rexrode. You can check it out every morning at 7:45. Not sure anything will ever top that Rex Rant when Rexrode decided to rap on this here program, but man, that was a good time.
Boy, happy 20th anniversary again, Katie. Really hope she's listening to that. I forgot about that gem.
I did too.
That one
very
needs...
grateful to be reminded of it.
I said to Robby,
Joe's
going to love this.
Ooh,
I didn't know where she was going with that one.
Gotta get that out of the rotation, please.
But man, I loved it.
Yeah, my goodness. I've been trying to come with the sequel, but I had like this really good song written about one of our coworkers here at the station, and then my laptop
some
got
obstacles were placed in your path.
Yeah, but someday. So I have a rant, but I will kind of a pre-rant or a extra rant that Michelle informed me of during the break. You know, I love Junie. But actually, if you want to rip Junie here, I have a couple things on Junie.
Okay.
Junie Riddle. So Junie said that he would rather watch this schedule unveiled than any NBA playoff game. That's right?
Correct.
He said that? Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, man. Look, it is important, okay? Like the sequencing of games, when you get your off or idle week, et cetera, et cetera.
Or the bye week.
Doesn't exist. However, also, we all think we know, this game's really tough, this stretch is really tough, this team's, and we, as we all know, we end up being wrong about several of these teams, and so the schedule you think that we think we see now, like I have tonight for the Athletic, I gotta have to write up the Titans, here's my prediction, and their toughest stretch, all that stuff. We're all doing that. But we also end up being wrong. So that's another reason that, dude, it's a schedule release. We already know who they're playing. I know you already ranted about this, but let me have my bite at the apple. We already know every single opponent from every team. That is what matters. First place schedule, second place schedule. Yeah, where they're, yes, of course, it's fast. It's always fun also to think, ooh, this game's at this prime time, and I can maybe go to this game on this weekend. Fine.
Sure.
It's a freaking schedule release. Also, Junie, since we're ripping Junie, next time you have Junie, I want you to ask him, I want you to say, hey, Junie, say the word especially.
Well, how's he say it?
He says especially. Especially. Dude, that's almost as bad as supposedly. Especially? I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to be a Junie rant. I love Junie.
It's turned into that now.
But especially, dude, you got to work on that.
I haven't noticed that. I need to pay attention.
I especially root for the Titans. I mean, he can't do it.
Always comes back to it.
I will say, Diana Rossini says it the same way as me.
She does.
We have proof. It's a northern thing.
She also had the report that Ryan Tannehill will start week 1. So
that's good.
Bombshell. Yesterday on
Ding,
ESPN.
ding, ding.
Yeah. Okay. Real fast here because I've wasted my time ripping other people. So this week, game 4, and it may end up winning the series for the Lakers. They out-executed the Warriors late, and Steph Curry tried a step-back bomb and missed. And so I saw a stat that has circulated, and the stat is Steph Curry 0 for 12 in go-ahead shots in the final 45 seconds of a playoff game. And so somebody tweeted this, and then I saw the replies like, he's such a fake clutch player, blah, blah, blah. If you think this, I can't possibly express what an idiot you are, okay? Dude, first of all, what about in the final 51 seconds? How about in the final minute 9? Steph Curry is the leading playoff scorer in the fourth quarter. Steph Curry has hit more clutch shots. It's absurd. If you want to watch him play and see how he carries that team, including in that game when he carried them. And you know what? I didn't like the shot. I think he should have driven on Anthony Davis on that play and made something happen in the lane. I mean, I thought it was bad selection. That tired as he must have been with those legs to shoot from that far away. Steph Curry has hit so many freaking clutch shots, has carried his team. I mean, again, last year you're talking about leading the playoffs again in fourth quarter scoring. Also, if you want to talk about clutch situations, which is defined as within 5 points, less than under 5 minutes of play, absolutely led the league, dominated last year in that category on the way to a championship. You got to be kidding me that you're going to tell me Steph Curry, because the last 45 seconds, he doesn't make every clutch shot. I invite you. I could put together a YouTube clip of Michael Jordan missing clutch shots all over the place during his career. He hit some famous ones. I'm not ripping Jordan here. I'm saying you can nitpick any player if you want. LeBron as well. Free throws, shots. Also, they've hit huge shots. Steph Curry is one of the most clutch players in the history of the game, period. And if you don't understand that, you want to come up with some arbitrary stat, I don't want to say the bad words.
What about the final 2 minutes and 27 seconds? Have they looked up those numbers?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, and
just the fourth
it's just the go-ahead shots, too. It's not the tying shots. It's just the go-ahead shots.
Well, my advice would be, like, if you're a team out there and you want to adopt this strategy and don't think he's clutch, just leave him open.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Leave him open.
I mean, it's
check the clock. 22 seconds left. Yeah, just don't worry about it. Don't cover him.
He's not clutch. Yeah.
Or
we're fine.
I mean, name one other person you would want the ball in their hand. I think he's probably top of the list in the entire NBA.
Right. Like as far as, I mean, I guess it's like if you want to, like, you could say like LeBron just to bull into the lane, at least get to the line or whatever, right? But yeah, with a shot, like if you have taken an outside shot to win the game, yes, there's no close second. Get out of here. My God. Got some people
There's a lot of response to this on text line.
Well, Will immediately was like, especially, yes, Joe.
Or
I've not noticed this.
Here's another one. The Grizzlies could be better without Ja Morant.
Oh, there you go. Oh my God, that's a Junie take too. This has turned into I guess I want to know what he thinks of Steph Curry. Maybe we can just make this all about Junie.
Wait, no, he's watching NFL schedule.
That's
release.
true.
He's not watching.
That's true. Well, he was watching the preview shows for the NFL schedule release last night, rather than Steph Curry and the Warriors winning, because Steph Curry was great again because he's one of the greatest players of all time.
By the way, a lot of response on the text line and just complete awe and appreciation of Rexrode's rap on the text line. Which for some, it's the first time hearing it.
We need another.
They didn't do it more often.
And also Keith says, going at others pretty hard for someone who said skiatika. And you know what? I deserve every
Thank
bit
you,
of that.
Keith.
Hey, man. Look, I am someone who will cast stones even though I'm in a glass house.
Sean apparently is available for adoption and wants you to adopt it. You can receive free beer with purchase on the text line, too. I'm a little worried about Sean sometimes.
Because you want me to rap to you or you like to look at my toes?
Yeah, which one?
Is that Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is Sean. Okay.
All of the above is the answer.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm trying to think. Like, is there anybody in the game right now that you would rather have the ball in their hands in the last minute in a close game in the NBA? Like, there's a couple. Kevin Durant, you could make the argument for him for sure. Giannis, the way he does it is different, but it depends on what you need. Like, if you need a three.
Exactly. Right. Like if you're down 2 or less, like you could argue still Giannis, LeBron, like you can get to lane, you can get in and force your way in there. But yeah, to take a shot, it's not close. Someone texts you're forgetting the greatest clutch shooter of all time, Robert Horry. And Big Shot Bob was amazing.
Yep.
But let's remember with Big Shot Bob, Big Shot Bob is the guy who, because Kobe and Shaq are drawing, someone has to be open in the corner. Bruce Bowen used to hit huge shots for the Spurs. Jordan would kick out to John Paxson, wide open all alone, hit huge shots. It was the right play by Jordan, but they don't win a title or a couple titles without Kerr, Paxson, those guys hitting those just wide open threes.
Yep.
Those players get wide open shots. Steph Curry gets doubled at the freaking half-court line.
From the logo.
Get out of here.
By the way, some more schedule leaks coming out. Apparently Rodgers and Josh Allen for the Bills and Jets on Monday Night Football. Week 1, got a texter asking us what we think of Rodgers versus Allen on Monday Night Football for Week 1.
Let's leak everything until we get
the schedule release is all going to be the Packers' entire schedule is out there that Schneidman put out there a few minutes ago. The entire Packers schedule is available for a schedule release that's supposed to take place tonight.
Get hype, Robbie.
And they're going to crush the Lions on your birthday. Is that right? In prime time?
Yeah, buddy. Thursday Night Football. 14-3.
I can't wait to see how many times the Lions are on primetime to get embarrassed. It's amazing.
A lot of primetime for the Lions already.
I'm especially excited for that.
Yes. Or especially.
Junie said, wow, Joe's ripping on me before I even wiped the eye crust off my eyes this morning.
Came in gloves off.
I said I love you, Junie. I know your name.
With all due respect. And remember, I'm
with
saying
all
with
due
all due respect.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I offended you, if you felt offended by things I said that I don't find offensive.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll get back into the Will Levis conversation coming up next. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
All the big plays. All the big stories.
If you're not ready to play in this league, you will lose. I don't care who you're playing.
All in one place. We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3.
Because I love the sport.
We played the way we needed to.
Why would he make that move?
360, he slams it home. The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Celebrating mothers everywhere. Electronic Express has what you need to make this the best Mother's Day yet. Spoil mom with brands like Samsung, Sony, LG, KitchenAid, Dyson, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department. 4K TVs, computers, housewares, smart home, and more. Plus, save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 3 years free financing. Shop in-store or online. Get more for mom at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Want to enter the construction field as a career? Make good money and finish with no debt and earn while you learn. Average starting salary over $18 an hour. First year of college averages $10,000. 4 years of our Construction Trades Academy, a total of $800 to $9,600. Applications are open with first-year scholarships available. CTANash.com. ABC Greater Tennessee Construction Trades Academy. Apply today. CTANash.com.
Anyone who has ever needed self-storage knows what a hassle it can be. You have to rent or borrow a truck and then find someone to help you move your stuff. And let's face it, moving furniture and heavy items without damaging them isn't easy. Renting the unit is worse. The hidden fees and admin costs are scarier than the dingy facilities you're leaving your stuff in. Why not use ClosetBox instead? ClosetBox is self-storage without leaving home. They'll pick up your belongings, store them securely, and bring any item back when you need it. The best part? Unlike traditional self-storage, you only pay for what you store. No paying for unused storage space. ClosetBox's background check storage movers are licensed, bonded, and insured and will take care of all of the heavy lifting. ClosetBox's local storage centers are temperature controlled and monitored 24/7. ClosetBox has an A+ rating from the BBB. Call 877-233-5696 now for the season's best rates. Get $50 off first month storage using code Radio50. That's 877-233-5696. 877-233-5696.
Your Game Center update.
I'm Michelle Knezovic. In the fourth quarter on Wednesday night, Anthony Davis was hit in the head by Warriors big man Kevin Looney. He left the game immediately, and according to TNT's Chris Haynes, he was escorted away in a wheelchair. The Warriors went on to win the game to stay alive in this series. The Warriors defeated the Lakers 121-106. The Lakers still lead 3-2 in the series. Jalen Brunson with 38 points to help the Knicks keep their season alive. They defeated the Heat 112-103. Yesterday on Robby and Rexrode, Barry Trotz joined Robbie Stanley and myself and discussed John Hines' future.
Everybody is going to be evaluated, and also I'm going to evaluate other organizations too. So if I can improve in any aspect of our organization, be it coaching or development, I'm going to try to do that. But I can tell you the staff is a really good staff. They know what they're doing, and I have a lot of trust in them.
The Maple Leafs survived being swept by the Florida Panthers 2-1 last night. Florida still leads the series 3-1. And the Oilers had a bounce-back win against the Golden Knights. That series is tied up at 2. I'm Michelle Knezovic for 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
For more, follow us on Twitter at 1025 The Game or visit thegamenashville.com. Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers. 1025 and 1063.
1, 2, 3, I think it was a good game. Had a couple of big plays.
The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
Mixing sports and a little bit of fun. This is fun! On your morning drive. This is Robby and Rexrode. With Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. On Nashville's best sports talk. 1025 and 1063 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's showtime.
Welcome back in. Final hour. Robby and Rexrode. 1025, 1063 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezovic here with you. On this Thursday morning, streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by Superbook. We are live from our 102.5 The Game studio, brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. By the way, lots of people weighing in on your conversation from the Rex rant, saying that Damian Lillard, the guy they'd want to have the ball in their hands. Maybe.
Love Dame.
He made some big shots.
But no. I love Dame.
Yeah.
Dame's great.
So we talked about Will Levis earlier, and like you said, Joe, you've got a story coming out on him tomorrow. At The Athletic, just kind of detailing some reporting that you've done over the last couple of days here. But there's a lot of conversation on him right now in terms of what exactly to expect as he comes in to Tennessee here with rookie minicamp getting underway and when training camp eventually starts. At what point is Will Levis going to play? Is there going to be a point this year where he gets in there? Is there going to be in 2024 where he's sitting behind a year? And it was interesting. You know, we talked with Jonathan Hutton earlier this week too. Like just the reaction to Will Levis continues to be just wild. Like the Titans tweeted out the video of him hitting the golf ball, and like there's all these replies underneath it. And the golf ball was intercepted while it's in midair at Top Golf. Like just the reaction to him is just wild.
From Titans fans?
Oh yeah, like Titans fans. I mean, I assume a lot of those are Vols fans. I assume
it's the Titans Vols crossover
and Louisville fans.
And Louisville.
He posted a picture of the gift basket of the Nashville SC jersey and kind of all of it,
all that stuff,
Preds jersey, and the comments below were just
wild.
It's like people. Let's just simmer down for a second.
Of like Titans fans, they're like, "Hey, we don't want you here." It's like, geez, just why don't you let him throw a pass in training camp before we start all that stuff?
Yeah, that's wild to me. I can't believe at this point that, like, if you're a Titans fan, like most Titans fans are like still pure hate for Will Levis.
Well,
right?
At this point, like, it is what it is, right? Like, I've said this. I don't like the pick, but it is what it is at this point. I mean, the only thing you can do now is give him a chance. And if you're a Titans fan, like, don't you hope you're wrong about him and that he's good and that you found your answer at quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years?
Right. Like, I get if you're a Vols fan who's not a Titans fan, but maybe you pay attention to Tennessee sports. Sure. Okay, I can see those people getting in there and, Vol Twitter, boy, they will do their thing. And Louisville fans, sure, of course. But yeah, that's bizarre to me. If it's nice L's down, Michelle. If it's Titans fans doing that. Indy Ben says it's the multiple character concerns that played into Levis falling. Teams didn't like the bad interview reports they had during the combine. Again, bad interview. I wonder about those. Okay, I'm going to keep going with the Indy Ben. The shirtless selfies and TikToks and focusing too much on marketing himself, referring to the question he had at the Manning Academy, end quote. Yep. So, that's fine. I actually think that the question at the Manning Academy, it was kind of a good question, right? It's like basically like, how would you balance, everything in terms of, and then of course Eli's like, Peyton never turned a commercial down in his life, Now, granted, that's after Peyton made his way in the NFL, but that's just a different world now. Those TikToks you got to remember too, like if you're a quarterback at Kentucky or wherever else, and like Bryce Young's making 7 figures, right? NIL,
it's just different now.
Yeah, you need to do some things like that. One of those videos was actually done before he got to Kentucky, right? I think the banana one. Yeah. That was an old one.
Yeah,
he just does. The focus
it's
on
a
that.
College kid.
Yeah. Look, I don't know if he's gonna be good at all. I have no idea, but I do look at all this stuff. If you really look at the actual facts of like everything he's done and everything, it's interesting how narrative can overcome fact.
Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Matt from White House. Matt, good morning. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, good morning, guys. Called in to talk about Levis, but as someone who purchased a brand new Hyundai Tucson over the weekend, I have no idea how to feel about that purchase now. I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. After hearing Joe rap this morning,
that was one of my favorite cars, man. I love the Hyundai Tucson. Congrats.
I think you should feel really good about it.
Okay, good. That helps. That helps. So I'm a big Kentucky fan, and I probably followed the program too closely. It's probably bad for my health. And I followed, obviously Levis's career in Kentucky pretty darn close. And the guy's a good dude. And it sucks that all the Tennessee fans are really down on him, and I get it. The whole rivalry deal, I get it. But Titans fans need to get behind him because he's ours now, and there's no question that there's parts of his game that need work, but there's parts of his game that are really good. So he may turn out to be great, he may not, but as far as his character and just kind of the person he is, I've seen tons of interviews with him. There's no character concerns with him. He's really a good dude. So, and the TikTok stuff, that stuff, they were jokes. So, he's not putting mayonnaise in his coffee. He's not eating bananas with the peel on. That stuff was a joke. So, hopefully Titans fans and, all the Vols fans out there will eventually get behind him. Maybe he starts playing well and things can improve. But the way he's been treated has been kind of sad to see. But hopefully we can all get behind him. That's all I got.
Yep. Thanks for the call, Matt. Appreciate it. Look, I think to some of these things, we're taking some leaps with character concerns, right? First off, he's 23, so it's just a different world now. We got NIL in college and some of the TikToks, and look, I don't love the shirtless photos either, but who cares? You're a 21, 22-year-old kid. The question is, can he play quarterback or not at a high enough level at the NFL level? I don't really care about all that other stuff. As long as you're not causing trouble and not getting yourself in legal trouble, Like, I don't really care about all that other stuff if I'm a fan. It's, can you play quarterback at a high enough level to where you're the answer for the Titans moving forward?
You're right, except, and certainly, I mean, that's what it comes down to. But I do think that people are taking some of this stuff and making that the reason they don't think he can. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
So that's and I just think, look, ultimately, yeah, I don't know on the field what's going to happen. I don't know how much supporting cast hurt him, injuries hurt him. Who knows? Again, most of these guys aren't going to be what you hope them to be. So that's just the reality. But I think a lot of people are taking the leap of, look at this, and this. See, this is not a guy you want leading your team. And everything, and I've talked to a lot of people, everything that's reality about him, and again, I'll have more to say on this tomorrow, it is completely the opposite direction of that. I mean, just like the caller said, I mean, that's like people in Kentucky would tell you, oh, he's awesome. Great, love the kid. I mean, he had he had people from Penn State who went, to the combine, went to the draft to support him. So, again, does that mean he's going to be a quarterback? No, but I feel like people are looking at these stupid videos and making that a reason to think, oh, this is not what you want in your locker room. And at some point, I guess, like, either you care enough to actually read into things and find out the reality, or you do things like tweet out Steph Curry isn't clutch in the last late in games because I hear this stupid arbitrary stat, right? Yeah. I mean, at some point, like, you either want to be informed or you don't want to be informed.
Well, it's choosing to look at certain information and then just completely just not look at other stuff and only focus on one thing and make a drastic statement on somebody's entire character by doing a stupid video or a picture or something when you've never met the person or you don't know anything about them.
Yeah, which sounds like a societal issue at large, too, but yeah.
Zach from Nashville on the text line said, Kyler Murray had major concerns with attitude and demeanor all through the draft in the public eye. Charles brought that up earlier. Rich Eisen, combine interviews. Levis has been the complete opposite. And I'm not a Kentucky fan or a big believer in Levis, but I think the team interviews are being blown out of proportion for him. This is from Zach from Nashville on the text line.
That's the thing. We talk about fans on Twitter or media, but what Charles is telling us is stuff he heard from teams too. Right. So, like, again, to me, misguided at least. I mean, I have no idea how the interviews went. The one thing I've heard, and I think the Levis camp will acknowledge this, there's an intensity with him that I could see in an interview being like, whoa, calm it down, man, that sort of thing. I mean, like one of those, like, you want it so bad, and he's very much, type A alpha guy, right?
Vrabel-esque.
Well,
that edgeness.
Yeah, then there's that too. But again, like if I'm a coach or a GM or whatever, if someone talks some trash to the opponent, it looks like he really cares about winning. I'm cool with that too, But some teams, I mean, again, this whole left. Who the heck wants to stay for day 2 of the draft?
That
is so dumb.
Surely there aren't like a lot of people making a big deal of that one. Like
I hope not.
It's just dumb. Like you're searching for things at that point. And again, look, I've talked about this several times. Not a huge fan of the Will Levis draft pick. I'm just not. I don't know that he's going to be all that good.
Fine.
But like some of the commentary around him is a little much, in my opinion. And that is probably the chief example of, he couldn't hang around through adversity for day 2 of the draft. It's like, okay, cool.
Get out there and sit there right now. Put that suit. No, I want you better wear that same suit. That same suit. I don't care if it's not clean. Get out of here.
Join 102.5, 106.3 The Game this Friday for the grand opening of the new Dunkin' in Cane Ridge, located at 191 Burkett Commons Avenue. The first 100 guests will receive free coffee for a year at the Cane Ridge location only, and we'll be on site doing ticket giveaways from 7 to 9 a.m., so looking forward to that. We'll have more on Will Levis coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
94.9 The Fan is your home for Hit City.
Tonight, your Nashville Sounds continue their homestand at First Horizon Park against Gwinnett.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sounds win.
Pre-game at 6:20.
On your home of Nashville Sounds baseball. 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
What's up, everybody? Michelle Knezovic here for Superbook Sports. Bring that big bet energy this summer with Superbook Sports. Superbook Sports is the most trusted name in the sports betting world. And right now, if you use the promo code THEGAME, THEGAME, to score up to $250 with their best first bet bonus. Win or lose, they will match your first bet up to $250 with the promo code THEGAME. Simply visit superbook.com for terms and conditions or download the Superbook Tennessee app in app stores. Enter the promo code THEGAME and you will get $250 courtesy of Superbook Sports. Listen, you're not going to forget the promo code THEGAME. It's the name of our station. But a couple bets that I am looking at, I think the 76ers on the money line tonight. I think that they close out that series. And along with that, I think that the Nuggets close out the series tonight as well. I feel not too confident with the Suns with Ayton questionable. You also don't have Chris Paul playing too. So I'm going to take the Nuggets plus the 3 also on that money line plus 135. And then the Celtics and the 76ers. Joel Embiid looks good. James Harden is playing at such a high level. I like the 76ers plus that 2.5, also plus the 115 on the money line. So like I said, use the promo code THEGAME and you'll get $250 bonus courtesy of Superbook Sports. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Mom, we're out of potato chips.
Teenagers, they'll eat you out of house and home, kind of like health insurance, which can take a big bite out of the family budget. Fortunately, with Farm Bureau Health Plan's Core Choice coverage, we can save $3,600 a year compared to the leading competitor. And we've got better coverage with a lower premium, lower deductible, free telehealth visits, and access to one of the largest networks available.
Can we order pizza?
Visit FBHP.com or your local Farm Bureau office today.
Looking for a career with purpose or have that passion for youth development? Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee provides a safe place where youth gain the tools to learn, lead, and reach their full potential. And that starts with you, offering competitive pay and free after-school care for employees. Learn more at bgcmt.org.
Buffalo Bill's Center of the West in Cody, Wyoming welcomes you as you enter Yellowstone Park's east entrance. 5 museums in one, including the fantastic Whitney Western Art Museum. Welcome to the West. Buffalo Bill's Center of the West, Cody, Wyoming.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingaroner, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Sarah wants a yard. My own little paradise. Brad, however, hates yard work.
The only thing I hate more than cutting the grass is paying someone to cut the grass.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Sarah and Brad found a great home with a yard. A very, very small yard.
Time to get it done. And I'm done.
Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
We try to stay cool by being on social media.
I'm with it. I'm hip.
Follow us on Twitter at 1025thegame and on Instagram at 1025thegame Nashville.
Hey!
Oh yeah, and like us on Facebook too. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode.
It's part of this nutritious breakfast.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 1025 and 1063 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Tune in for Nashville Sounds Baseball tonight at 6:35 on 94.9 The Fan. The Sounds taking on the Gwinnett Stripers, the AAA affiliate of the Atlanta Braves. Sounds Baseball on 94.9 The Fan, presented by 312 Pizza, Farm Bureau Health Plans, and Family Leisure. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 1025, 1063 The Game. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty, where their advanced Pay by TJ option can save you thousands when selling your home. Taking your thoughts on Will Levis, 615-737-1025. Wes from Hermitage on the text line says, since Nashville football isn't a huge market, I believe if Will Levis works out, that will definitely get the media's attention. It could be a good thing for the Titans if he's good and has a goofy character persona. It could put us on the map. His goofiness, if a good quarterback mixed with Vrabel, can make for must-see TV. Just a thought. This from Wes from Hermitage on the text line.
So, and even this is like, okay, but like we're talking about 2 videos, which were, at least one of them I think was like, hey, get yourself out there, have some fun. I mean, I think he has fun and stuff on social media, but I don't like, I hope he is goofy. Like, I hope he's Nuke LaLoosh, except not having the Kevin Costner media sessions to learn all the cliches. But I don't know that that's really his personality. I just think he did the movie. It is a great movie. I think he just did those. I just think he just did those 2 videos and we were like, this freaking goofball. Oh, my God. Like LD says, LD from McMinnville, and this is totally
separate.
Well, I totally agree with this. He said, just an FYI, my boys are in their early 20s, stay in the gym, and constantly post update selfies. It's pretty normal. I'm like, dude, yes. Yeah. It is outrageously normal. I mean, whether it's posting or, I don't know, it's like, here, I'm going to take a new picture of myself to go on, Snapchat? Like
Snap, Insta, all the above.
Why did you... Like, you just took a picture of yourself and put it on Snapchat, like for your friends or whatever, and then why 10 minutes later you're in the same place, you have the same shirt on or shirt off or whatever, and you're doing it again? This is what kids do.
Like biceps growing by the minute, baby.
Yeah, I guess
some of that progress in there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But that's something. Maybe this is a generational thing too, because believe me, if I didn't have kids of a certain age, I wouldn't totally understand this constant look at me, but they all do it with each other all the time.
Oh, yeah. It's a thing.
Let's turn this into Old Man Yelling at Cloud show.
I got a texter that says, attitudes toward Levis just shows you how lame UT fans are. This is from a texter on the text line.
I do like how Levis has become sort of this secondary battleground for Kentucky and Tennessee fans.
Well, it really just
or Tennessee and any other SEC
just
fan.
Non-Tennessee fan.
Yeah. Because there's plenty of, there's plenty of Bama fans who are Titans fans too.
For sure, yeah.
So I like it. If
and
he ends
Kentucky
up,
basketball.
Vandy.
It's almost like if he
big 3.
Yeah. If he ends up being good, how many Vols / Titans fans will fully embrace it? Like, will there still be a huge percentage of all Twitter that will, that just won't want to acknowledge or just won't support him?
I can already see it now. Like the over-analyzation of every ball that he throws at training camp this summer is going to be exhausting. Like, I can already just see it now. Like, my thoughts on training camp practice anyway. Made that pretty clear before on this program. But, every time he makes a mistake at training camp, it's just going to be just the discourse around it's going to be amazing with his fan base.
Well, and that's the thing. It's but it's so different, too, because he's not going to be the starter.
No.
So it's like people want to pick at him and stuff, and you're right, totally analyze everything. But in the meantime, there's also so when's he getting the job?
Right.
Like when, comparing to Tannehill. And then, by the way, Malik Willis will be out there throwing passes too. We're going to have a heck of a time.
He will. There'll be a lot of intrigue at the quarterback position coming up this season for the Titans. We've talked about this before, but you brought it up earlier, going back to the Tannehill part of this. We talked about it with Charles earlier in terms of how important this year is for him and what his future landing spot looks like. Like, how important is a good start for him? We'll see the schedule and how it lines up for the Titans coming out a little bit later today. But a good start for him personally and a good start for the team in terms of him holding on to his job. How important is that for Tannehill as you look ahead to the start of the season? I think that part of it's different. Like, even with Willis last year after they drafted him in the 3rd round, you knew that as long as Tannehill was healthy, he was going to play and he was going to be the starter. Even if he played poorly, he was going to play. Like with Levis, if Tannehill's not very good in the first 5 or 6 weeks, do we know that he's gonna be in there the whole time? Do we know that Vrabel just says it's 2024 for Will Levis? Tannehill's in the whole year. I don't know that. It's interesting to kind of spot the difference there between the two situations.
Yeah. To me, if it just goes the way we think, which is Tannehill is better than Levis, he should absolutely be better than Levis right now. I mean, Tannehill has been in this offense. I know the offense is changing, but he should be easily to see superior than Levis. I'm sure Levis will make throws and all that, and he's a tremendous athlete, all that stuff. You'll see the talent, but Tannehill should easily be the starter. And then it's if they're 2-4. I know I heard Jared talking yesterday about if they do have the off or idle week after the London trip to play the Ravens, so that would be after 6 games. That's the 6th game. So what if they're 2-4, something like that? And it's then they have that extra week, so now you can get the rookie ready. There will be a lot of calls for that. But let's go Mike Vrabel in that situation. I'm Mike Vrabel, and I've got more power, and I've done very well, and I have the support of my owner. I also know that she fired the GM in season last year.
Yep.
So at 2-4, am I going to punt and also put the rookie out there early? I think I still am. My personal belief is that Will Levis would absolutely benefit from a full redshirt year, and just to be prepared to come out in 2024. Even if that's not the case, I mean, I could certainly see Will Levis playing at some point this year. Would Vrabel punt at 2-4? I mean, I guess if Tannehill's bad, like if Tannehill's the problem there, okay, then fine. But based on how Tannehill handled last season with a terrible situation around him, I'd be surprised if that's the case.
Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Adam in Portland. Adam, good morning. Thanks for calling in.
Did you see Miss Michelle on TV last night?
No. You
Well,
didn't tell us you're on TV.
We're on TV. We're doing what?
I did a sports line with John Burton for Channel 5.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And Adam called in.
Wow.
He's modest. I live to make you guys I want to be the uncomfortable part of your comfortable TV, radio, whatever.
That's why we love you.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you talk about my feet then.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but hell no, man. I don't do that at all. Not a foot guy. But
sorry, Sean.
Hey, all right. So here's the thing, man. I'm so bored with Will Levis. Like I don't know how you guys do it. Like you still got months of this. Like you got all summer. You're gonna have to talk about him.
Oh, we know.
And that is so cringy to me. Like nothing's gonna change between now and then. Like he's gonna do nothing to make us happy or sad or. It's wild, man. I'm trying to get into the NBA. I'm trying to get into the NHL playoffs without the Preds. I'm so bored, man. I need you guys to give me something. I'm dying over here, man.
So you want a little Skoronski talk? Like what should we pivot to? A little Arden Key pass rush moves?
Check this out, Joe. I want to paint a picture for you. So I bought a house last year. I've got this man cave out here. 3 TVs in my shop. I don't have anything to put on them. Literally have Seinfeld on one of them. Like, I want sports surrounding me. I want to be engulfed, and I can't be. It sucks.
First of all, amazing that I talked about Sean's foot fetish and Adam says, this is cringy. the talking about Levis is cringy. But dude, all I can say, Adam, is like, embrace the postseason. They've both been amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
Have they?
Yes.
You like 50 points in the NBA scored? I can't. They walk every play, man. I've tried. I promise I'm that guy. I'm the typical new NBA fan who's like, just somebody throw a punch and let's get dirty. And, like, I want to see –
Well, they've had a few of those.
Sports Center, like, I want you guys to fight. I saw Draymond.
Knights Oilers last night.
Trash. But, like, it's not really the Bulls and the Pistons, is it? It's not the same thing. Like, it's never going to be that again.
It's way better basketball.
They really hate each other. That's all, man. They're going to score 150 a night, and I'm bored. So I'm bored over here, dude.
USFL, man. That's all I got for you. Like, I think you just need football.
Well, schedule release tonight.
That's true.
Oh yeah, I have schedule release. All right,
put it on all the screens, buddy. All the screens.
Thanks for the call. Oh man, Will from Nashville on the text line says y'all should monitor overreactions to every throw in camps for both Milton and Levis and do a comparative overreaction meter. I can't wait. I mean.
That's a
training camp around here could be pretty fun. From Will Levis and everybody scrutinizing every throw he makes to, the videos coming out on Instagram of Joe Milton launching 187 yards in the air in training camp. I'm looking forward to all that.
Just wait till a Milton pass hits Levis in the head during camp from Knoxville.
Milton launches one down I-40. Well, there he goes.
How about Dennis? I knew Levis was entitled when they had the audacity to take the GOAT's number 8.
Yeah.
Yes, Dennis. Yes, Dennis.
Real quickly, we may regret this, but let's go to Sean and Dixon on the phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Sean, good morning. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good, Sean.
I don't normally call because I'm a weirdo, but I just had to echo Adam's point. I've wanted to say this for a while. The NBA is terrible. It's terrible. I can't do it. Okay. I don't understand. Like, I'm right there with him. I've been watching the playoffs. I'm trying to get back into it after, like, a 5-year hiatus because it's just like watching a bunch of 7-foot babies running around crying about everything. Like, I just don't understand how anyone could get into it. Like, I'm trying really hard because I went to college for basketball scholarship and stuff, and I miss it. I love it. And it's hard to watch. It's really hard to watch. I've got 2 kids that are 9 and 7, and it's not a whole lot of different between the behavior. Like, it's about the same. That's all I got, though.
Yep.
I just had to get that off my chest.
Thanks for the call, Sean. I think we're about to spark another Rex rant here on the program.
Hey, man, I can't I don't know what to tell you. It's amazing.
It's
every
great.
second
It's
is amazing. I mean, every series. I don't know, man. That's
But
okay.
I mean, that
That's
schedule
okay. We're allowed
release,
to have different opinions.
That
What's that?
schedule release, though, that's...
Oh, my gosh. And on October 12th, here's a game that will happen 5 months from now.
It's only 4 now. We're getting closer.
Well, that's October, though.
Oh, that is October.
See, I did the
You're
math right.
Jeez.
And I muted myself.
Real good on my part. 615-737-1025.
foot, Sean?
I think so. We'll have more conversation coming up next.
Put your feet in some high tops and go take some shots, Sean.
This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5-106.3 The Game.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game has an all-star lineup Monday through Friday. Batting first at 6 a.m., it's Robby and Rexrode.
Yeah, you take that. You take that. Take 80% of that.
Followed by Chase and Michelle at 9.
Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
I need my caffeine so much.
Then it's Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace at 11.
Yep, green light, let's go.
You've got a lot of options.
He say, she say. And bringing it home at 2, Jared Stillman for Stillman and Company.
That guy will be a good coach.
We are Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
You don't have just an ordinary mom in your life. She's the best. Her work never stops. Her sacrifices are many. Her love is unfailing. This Mother's Day, Genesis Diamonds invites you to join us in celebrating and appreciating the mothers in our lives. Stop in and let one of our trusted advisors help you find a special, meaningful gift. Layering necklaces, stackable rings, eternity bands, pearls, elegant diamond pendants, and of course, stunning diamond earrings. Great Mother's Day ideas for any budget. There's no doubt we love Mom, but sometimes a little extra appreciation goes a long way as a thank you for helping us through challenges, making sacrifices, and always putting the family first. So whether it's her first Mother's Day or her 60th, Mom deserves a gift that's anything but ordinary. And at Genesis, that's our specialty. Exquisite rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, heirloom pieces. Timeless gifts of jewelry that she can enjoy and cherish for decades to come, and always be reminded of how special she is to the family. Genesis Diamonds, online at genesisdiamonds.net.
Hi, this is Warren Moon, 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback and member of the Tennessee Titans Ring of Honor and Pro Football Hall of Fame. On the field, I always wore a helmet and pads to make sure I was protected. Life is no different. That's why I got vaccinated and boosted against COVID-19. Protection keeps you in the game. Talk to your doctor and get the information you need to make an informed choice. Gear up, Tennessee. Protect yourself and your family against COVID-19 today.
For more information, go to nflagearup.org/Tennessee.
Music City will be rocking June 23rd through the 25th with a different sound, the sound of NASCAR.
Start your engine!
The Ally 400 is back at Nashville Superspeedway, and this year, it's a night race. NASCAR in Nashville. It's guitars and fast cars under the lights. Visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com to get your tickets for the triple header weekend, including the Ally 400, Tennessee Lottery 250, and the Rackley Roofing 200 today.
Golfers, since 1968, Edwin Watts Golf Shops has been your go-to store for golf gear for Mother's Day. Come check out the latest in women's apparel, shoes, bags, balls, clubs, and more for the perfect gift for mom. This year, we're featuring ladies' Callaway Reva sets for $100 off. Get mom custom fit for free today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at EdwinWattsGolfShops.com.
Hey y'all, it's Caroline Fenton, and I want to tell you about my friends over at 312 Pizza Company. 312 Pizza is my favorite place in town. It's family owned and operated, bringing you a slice of Chicago to Nashville. 312 Pizza Company specializes in deep dish pizza, thin crust pizza, and all things Chicago style, always made from scratch using secret family recipes passed down generation to generation. 312 Pizza is open every day except for Tuesday and is located in Germantown with dine-in, takeout, and curbside available. Call 615-730-7888 or head to 312pizzaco.com to order. 312 Pizza Company, Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria.
Sometimes he gets lonely and needs some company.
10
10 for 17 for 45 yards in his career with 1 interception.
This is one of those years where it's a step back for them.
And that'll create more one-on-one situations and make it easier for him to throw the ball down the field.
It's Stillman and Company.
You've got real talent.
With Jared Stillman, weekdays from 2 to 6 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Ryan Johansson. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezovic here with you on this Thursday morning. Text line's a wild place right now.
Yeah. Boy, I don't even know where to go with. We just got to put our best foot forward the rest of the show, okay?
We really do. To make sure that we're all
Clip
over that.
those toenails.
That's right.
You can make a rap out of it,
Well,
Rex.
I could. Speaking of that, Katie got a pedicure, got a wedding this weekend, and it got messed up. So
that's not good.
Shout out to Katie. Sorry.
Shout out.
Did you get yours finally?
No, I'm retired from that. I think especially now, I really don't want any stranger to handle my feet, especially after the link that who sent us to Liam.
Liam.
Sent?
Yes,
yeah.
thank you.
Boy,
stay away from all that. Joe, a lot of people discussing the jersey numbers, which again is just amazing to me. But the jersey numbers that Will Levis and Peter Skoronski specifically are going with. So if you missed it, the Titans have given Will Levis number 8 at quarterback. Obviously 7 is currently occupied with Malik Willis. And it's Peter Skoronski donning number 77. So Taylor Lewan is out. A new 77 in town with Skoronski coming in. What do you make of Levis wearing 8 and Skoronski wearing 77? A lot of Titans fans talking about that.
they can do whatever they want, but I don't like it.
Why not?
Like, to me, and again, this just may be old brain talking, but it was not long ago at all that was Taylor Lewan protecting Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of a recent example. So one thing that comes to mind for me, I initially really did not like Barry Sanders back in my lost youth of rooting for the Detroit Lions. I really did not like Barry Sanders taking number 20 because Billy Sims, an all-time underrated great player in the NFL, wore 20. And that was, the 20, everybody had the 20 jersey. Billy Sims. And then Barry Sanders. Now, you're talking Billy Sims retired in 85. Barry Sanders came in 89. I suppose, look, from the Mariota time frame, it's about the same with Levis and Mariota. But also, I guess it's Lewan was a great player. With Mariota, it's the same number of, a guy who turned out to be a mediocre quarterback. I would think from the Titans' perspective, it's so all you people are going to just tape over your Lewan and Mariota jerseys now to come support Skoronski and Levis? Buy a real new jersey.
Maybe.
Amy may have to go to just straight up to the Oilers jerseys permanently to make sure people buy new 8s and 77s.
You want to know a scorching hot take from me real quick? Speaking of jerseys, they keep showing these flashbacks on Twitter of Titans quarterbacks that have been drafted. And, there's the Vince Young and Jake Locker photos, and then Marcus, and now, of course, Will Levis being photoshopped into a Titans jersey. I miss the old Titans jerseys. I really do. I think they're way better than the new ones. That's just my hot take for the day.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a hot take. I don't think there's a huge difference. I
hate the font on these new ones. I can't stand it.
Okay, the font, yeah. I just for me, what I really don't like is the white jersey and navy pants. If they should absolutely kick that uniform to the curb. And I know that I'm a guy who makes fun of people who talk about uniforms too much, and I'm sitting here doing it. But if they went actual two-tone blue, that's what you do. And that when they had the old jerseys, they were two-tone blue a lot more often, right?
They were.
Navy pants, light blue jerseys, that's what you do.
Well, they used to have the light blue on the shoulder too with the navy jersey, so it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I just say it. I miss the old jerseys, but a lot of people kind of upset that Levis is going with number 8. I'm like, guys. Well, first off, there's the people that are upset
because they don't like Mariota.
Some are upset because they don't like Mariota and they don't want him wearing number 8 because of that. Some are upset because they do like Mariota and they think it's too soon for another quarterback to be wearing number 8.
Oh.
And then in the pre-draft process, it was gosh, whoever the Titans quarterback is, don't let him wear number 10. because Vince wore 10 and Jake Locker wore 10, and they were just, none of them worked out. Can't do it. So it's like, well, they can't wear 8, certainly can't wear 9 with McNair, and 10 you can't wear from some Titans fans. Like, what number you guys want him to wear? What, 4?
Yeah, what were the other options for Levis? I think there were like maybe 4 or 5 options, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I believe.
Yeah, I mean, he was 7 in college, and that's Malik Willis.
I mean, we could figure it out just by looking at the roster. I mean, there's a lot of occupied numbers.
I would love to, if I was him, just be like, approach Malik Willis and be like, hey, man, what do you think about giving me number 7? I would love to know how that conversation went on over.
Listen, this does happen in the NFL, and what happens is it's like, okay, how much you paying me for it?
Right.
I mean, if I'm Malik Willis, I would consider it.
I would too. I don't. You want me to
get
wear
some of this
number?
rookie's
Okay.
money? Sure. It'd be easier, frankly, it'd be easier to hit him up for the cash if he'd gone in the first round,
Yeah.
Bigger contract. But, okay, let me see. I mean, so basically the numbers that are occupied, 0, 2, okay, so what would be available? 1, 5, 9, 14, and 19.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's wearing 9 for the Titans. Just my guess.
Right. 9. Yeah, that's right. And is it actually officially out of circulation?
I don't know that it's officially.
But you're not going to give that to somebody, right? So take that out of there.
Well, by the way,
I mean, has any quarterback ever worn 1 in the NFL?
Warren Moon.
Oh yeah, duh. Of course, that's putting a little pressure on yourself.
Yeah, that is too.
And of course, if Levis did that, people are like, "Oh, I think it was the second round."
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
19. 19's not bad. No one ever wears 19.
I know. Mason on the text line says, number 8 lost all of its GOAT power when Cody Hollister put it on. That is true. Cody Hollister has been wearing number 8. No Titans fans upset with that. When Hollister's out there blocking 15 yards down the field on a passing route.
Yeah, what's going to happen when he has to start, in week 7? By the way, that's the idle week.
It is. He's still out there. Somebody says Levis can just switch after Willis is cut before the regular season. I mean, that is going to be interesting to see what happens there.
I mean, that is a possibility that he's sitting here with 8, and then if Willis is cut and if Willis is cut, but what if Willis is cut and then he clears waivers and he's on the practice squad? I mean, he's just on the practice squad.
Yeah.
But still, he's in the organization. Does he not still have claim to 7?
I mean, you would think. Like, if he gets elevated, that would be his jersey number, right? I guess you'd have to find him a different one after that one. Well,
now, but if I
rotate through some jerseys for you.
That's where if everything's all the same now, and obviously it is. I mean, Levis is going with 8. So if I'm Willis at that point and I lose out and I'm cut and no one wants me on their active roster and I'm on a practice squad, that's when I'm like, hey, man, please pay me for 7.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how long I'm going to be in the league. Pay me for 7.
Right. By the way, Cam Newton wore number 1 as a jersey, and Kyler Murray wears number 1 currently as a jersey.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
At quarterback.
More good analysis from me. This is why I should just never talk about uniforms.
615-737-1025. Coming up next, it's time for the best and worst things of this week in the world of sports. We'll take your thoughts on that as well on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
The crowd is standing on its feet. It's in the hole! It's in the hole!
Join 102.5 The Game for the second annual Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament, benefiting Souls for Souls, June 7th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with athletes, musicians, and other local celebs. See the ball. Support a great cause and have loads of fun. Plus, you'll have the chance to win awesome prizes. Sign up to play, sponsor, or donate at theGameNashville.com/golf.
Do you ever feel like gambling is causing financial strain or hurting your relationships? The Gambling Clinic has been helping people who want to change their gambling habits for over 2 decades. With physical clinics and remote online appointments, we're here to help you make informed decisions about your gambling so it doesn't lead to a bigger problem. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com so we can work together to help you win your life back. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
B&B Flooring has a goal to bring your dream floor to you. Over 30 years running and locally owned and operated, B&B Flooring's full-service, commercial, and residential team will handle anything from tile, luxury vinyl, carpet, hardwood, rubber, and all commercial products.
Visit their showroom at 2204 Northwest Broad Street in Murfreesboro, or check them out at bnbflooringtn.com to make your flooring selection today. Call 615-216-0551 and schedule a free quote at your home or office.
We got you covered.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 3.5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
Did you know that more than 4,000 children in Nashville are experiencing homelessness right now? And across Middle Tennessee, that number grows to more than 9,000. Hi, I'm Buddy Teaster, the CEO at Souls for Souls, a global non-for-profit based right here in Nashville. And we're on a mission to provide these kids with a brand new pair of athletic shoes through our For Every Kid program. Because we know that something as simple as a pair of shoes can change a child's future. Students who receive these shoes tell us things like, I can't believe these shoes are mine. I finally have something new of my own and I don't feel left out. And my feet finally feel like they can breathe. We're joining forces with our friends here at 1025 The Game for the second annual Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament to help provide new shoes to kids across Nashville. It's all happening June 7th at the Hermitage Golf Course. Come join us for an afternoon of fellowship and fun, all in support of a great cause. Go to thegamenashville.com/golf for more information and to register.
1025 and 1063 The Game has an all-star lineup Monday through Friday. Batting first at 6 a.m., it's Robby and Rexrode.
Yeah, you take that. You take that. Take 80% of that.
Followed by Chase and Michelle at 9.
Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
I need my caffeine so much.
Then it's Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace at 11.
Yep, green light, let's go.
You've got a lot of options. He say, she say. And bringing it home at 2, Jared Stillman for Stillman and Company.
That guy will be a good coach.
We are Nashville's best sports talk, 1025 and 1063 The Game. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 1025 and 1063 The Game and the Game Nashville app. The best and worst of the sports week, now on Robby and Rexrode.
On ESPN.
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It is time for the best and worst things in sports here on Robby and Rexrode. We'll take your submissions on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Our phone number, 615-737-1025. Joe Rexrode, kick us off with your best and worst things in sports for this week.
Hate to sound like a broken record on the best. I was actually going to combine these things, which would be like probably a third time, but I don't care because I just wish people would see the world through these eyes. Because man, I can't wait every night for more. I'm going to confine it to the NBA playoffs just because Sean had to rip the NBA in particular. Talking about like crying to the refs or flopping. I mean, what? I can find you some baseball players. How about some soccer players who lie like they're dead on the field for 45 seconds and then it's like, oh,
started on flopping.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Yes, look, like if you watch the Golden State Warriors, then you'll see Draymond Green screaming about most calls, and also you'll see him do fantastic things like he did last night, 2010 and 4, and defense that's like among the best team defense ever played. It's just incredible basketball. I don't know what to tell you. So, again, I want to make sure if you just don't like the NBA or whatever, that's fine. You're not an idiot. If you think Steph Curry's not clutch, you are an idiot.
Yeah, there you go.
But best thing in sports, the NBA playoffs. Worst thing, Bob Huggins this week. He says twice on a radio show this gay slur. Like a word that should be completely out of circulation and then doesn't get fired. I actually was surprised. I thought he'd be fired. He should have been fired. Listen, anybody else in a public job in the state of West Virginia says that, they are fired on the spot. You can hate that if you want. You can tell it politically correct, whatever. I'm just telling you, it is a fact that they would be fired. And this is
what did they end up doing with him, by the way?
He's got some sensitivity training.
He's got sensitivity training, and
that'll be good for him.
I think some sort of a suspension coaching wise, and then $1 million fine.
Reduction.
Yeah, salary reduction down to like $3.2 million. Which again, what this is, hey man, they got a chance at an amazing season, and that's going to overcome everything else.
Right.
So again, not to mention this is like strike 11 for him anyway. I mean, the whole thing is a crock. So that's
He's always
my
seemed
worst.
like a very pleasant guy.
Yeah. Now I'm sure that word just happened to just slip out on the radio, just randomly.
Michelle Kadesvik, your best and worst things in the world of sports.
Well, another week of doing this, and Joe quite literally and I have the exact same ones.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them. Nice. As soon as you said Bob Huggins' name, I'm like, really? The NBA I could deal with, but. Yeah, so I'll piggyback off that quick. The Bob Huggins situation, just awful. And like you said, I mean, this is not the first time that guy has messed up. Go look into some of the stuff that he's been involved in. And, I mean, the audio is just disgusting, like laughing and everything along that. So he's clearly my worst in sports this week. My best, I'll go a little bit more specific. Devin Booker has been performing at such an incredible level. I don't think that the Suns will beat the Nuggets in this series because trading all your role players for KD and then Chris Paul getting hurt, their depth isn't great. But Devin Booker for a portion of this series was averaging 41 points a game and from the floor shooting 79%. I mean, just performing out of his mind. And I mean, a lot of other Kentucky players, and it makes me wonder why they never won a championship recently, but they are all performing very well. But specifically, Devin Booker has just been performing out of his mind. But with that being said, I don't think they're going to make it out of this series.
He's amazing. So real quick, you and Ryan had an argument then. So Ryan's basically saying Tatum's like way better than Booker?
Yes.
Yeah, it's an argument. Booker has been outrageous, man.
Yeah,
it's an argument, Ryan from Chicago. Accept it.
Yeah, that was an argument. Yep.
I'm sure it was.
A couple drinks in. I needed backup from you too.
I love the late night text from Michelle when it's clear she and Ryan are having a sports argument, and she loops us in.
It's like, wow, it's 10:45 on a Friday. What are y'all doing?
That is my
you're in New Orleans.
My one thing I do. I text you guys and I need backup because we're in a heated sports debate, and then I don't read it if you guys back up him, and I'm just like, oh, they didn't respond.
They didn't say anything.
Yeah, those guys must be in bed. I don't know. Can't reach them.
My best thing in sports. Jimbo Fisher continuing to speak is just amazing to me. He was at the Fort Worth A&M Club yesterday, which bills itself, according to LarryBrownSports.com, as one of the oldest, largest, and proudest Texas A&M clubs in the world. And somehow TCU got brought up, I would assume, because they're in Fort Worth in this conversation. And Jimbo's response to the season that TCU had was, quote, "They stayed healthy, they had a lot of experience, and they got to where they had to get to. And then when they got to the SEC, it changed, did it?" That was what Jimbo Fisher had to say about TCU. So Jimbo, given the season that he had last year, have the audacity to talk trash about anybody else, let alone somebody that within his own state played in the national championship game last year, is just amazing to me. I love college football so much. Talking season, it's my favorite.
It's so great too, and these it's always like the speaking circuit too, where some of these juicy quotes come out. They're like, they just feel like it's just me and my friends.
Yeah,
it's like,
nobody's recording anything here.
Yeah, it's going right on the internet. Yeah. Nah, the SEC, that tough SEC, man, which Texas A&M contributed nothing to last year.
They did get beat 66-7 in the national championship game. That is true. TCU did.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Some teams in the SEC are very good. Some teams, some programs are very good. Some coaches.
I just happen to thoroughly enjoy it when Jimbo Fisher has press conferences. And I think 75% of it's his voice and the way he says things, but he gets a little mad in there. It's pretty funny.
We need to savor Jimbo because I feel like we may not be seeing a lot of more Jimbo presses.
We got SEC Media Days coming to Nashville this summer. We probably just need to just go ahead and embrace Jimbo at that time.
That's true. That is
Maybe we'll have him on the program.
Jimbo week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimbo, you want to come on the program?
That'd be cool.
Yeah. My worst thing in sports, although they stayed alive last night, the Toronto Maple Leafs. They did win last night, so they're not dead. They're going back home for Game 5, but celebrating like you win the Stanley Cup after winning one series in the playoffs and then coming down and just laying down flat and being down 3-0 in series. We'll see if they can complete the comeback, but they're going to have a hard time winning 4 in a row in this series, I think.
Yeah,
and I enjoy every second of it.
You were so planning to have them be worse and then for them to be toast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they kind of foiled you, but yeah, it'll be over soon.
It'll be over soon.
William from Madison, glad you brought this up. Best is 102.5, new home for Vanderbilt,
and
including baseball, so good call right there. Worst is the NFL schedule hype. Yeah. With you on those, buddy.
There is that. Absolutely. Joey from Bellevue says, best is Hani Mukhtar with a hat trick. And the worst is the Devils giving up 5+ goals a game against the Hurricanes. This is from Joey from Bellevue.
Freaking Devils. We could have had a great series. Rangers, Hurricanes would have been great. And the Devils suck. And
the Rangers screwed it up.
Yep, they did. God. That's too bad. That's actually – because that has hurt – that has hurt the NHL, which has still been fantastic. But that should have been a great series. Caleb, I want to bring this up. James Harden bringing in Michigan State student. I think you brought it up too, Michelle. But yeah, that was really awesome. They kind of had a connection. The student, I don't have his name in front of me, but he has been paralyzed from the shooting. He survived it, obviously.
At Michigan State.
At Michigan State. Yep. Huge fan of James Harden, so they've kind of talked, and he got to go to that playoff game when James Harden hit that shot and everything too.
Yeah, went nuts.
How often does it happen where you get to do something like that, and then your sports hero, the person you root for, actually has a game like that? Amazing.
Yeah, pretty good. Megan on the text line, going back to the flopping conversation, says, not to mention that amazing Tierre Tart flop during the Packers game last season. It was beautiful. I forgot about that one.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Good. There was one from
Tierre Tart flop on the field at Lambeau.
Yeah.
Vrabel walking out there, him and Rodgers jawing at each other. It was good.
There was a Kentucky football player who quite literally didn't get touched, and the video came out, and he just throws his arms up and falls over.
Oh, you can find some good flops.
It's really funny when you find those.
It's in all sports. It's kind of an epidemic.
You could find some flops out there. Maybe they need to do the hockey route and you get embellishment. You get an embellishment penalty out there.
Well,
and then people
they have a flop.
Can't be both.
Right, they have a flop rule in basketball. They don't call it. Joey Eki scoring last night. That's also worth mentioning. At home, they won a game.
That was a good game
without any goals from McDavid or Draisaitl.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you had the Alex Pietrangelo garbage on
Draisaitl.
Draisaitl.
Kind of went underneath his chin there with the stick. The puck was gone for 3 seconds and takes the high stick and got Connor McDavid to actually say something in a post-game interview, too. He was as mad as Connor McDavid can be in a post-game interview. It was nice to see.
Yeah, that wasn't just like wind-up doll. Yeah, we're just trying to, play our best hockey. He actually was angry. I want to give Gover a quick thing here on the text line driven by WilsonCountyHoney.com. Worst in sports, Adam from Portland. Adam's been taking some strays today.
Adam is taking strays on the text line right now.
The text line. Gover says he called in to complain about the NHL and NBA playoffs and then said, I just need sports on my 3 TVs. I've got nothing. What? I mean, that's fair. I was like, there are games.
There are. I don't know how you couldn't watch the playoffs so far and not be entertained.
I don't either. That's just me. I think we're unified in this show on that point.
That's going to do it for us today on Robby and Rexrode. We'll be back 6 a.m. tomorrow. Chase and Michelle up next. This is 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
All the big plays.
Tannehill.